plot and schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.
FBA cut deep up, Roto. Rich Rising, Ife. Rich Rising, Simon. Rich Rising, Big Capricorn. Thank you, Ife. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been doing Black History with a focus on New York, or whoever had a interconnection to New York. I've also been asking people to join the panel with their highlight of choice. Since it is Women's Month, and Sister Keita did not want to leave out the men, I chose 2 days to do powerhouse couples. So the other day I did the Tills, Hannah and Isaac. They were very instrumental in having a close connection to officers of the Revolutionary WAR, and they used their connections to help with their abolition work in New York. Today we have the Lyons. Now see, when I saw Lyons, I was like, oh my God, because I never watched one episode of Empire, but you know, you catch the highlights of Cookie Lyon and all that stuff by Lee Daniels. I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he based it off of these fine people, this fine couple. So they were abolitionists, and I have it mapped out when I get to the segment about them. I'm trying to see if a panel comes in because people did have homework to do. Some had homework to catch up on. I did tell people before 9. That's that. Let me go live now. Because sometimes people like to listen to the lives as they get ready for work, and there's really nobody live right now. So I play my jazz music in the back. Today I do have topics. The Caribbean shootout, right? I was scrolling the hallways, and I don't understand why the Caribbean is bothering us in FBA panels and rooms, right? Or those who identify as Black American, when they have inner fighting of their own. I mean, from the Latin Caribbean islands to the Caribbean islands to the Haitians. They were throwing the Haitians, the Dominicans, and the Mexicans under the bus. Calling Mexicans real racist because they don't have any Black artists. Like, you know, when I say Black, I mean the Afro-Latinos, but they were calling them Black conveniently. And they went to mentioning, y'all don't have no Amada Negra, so however you say her name. Y'all don't have this type, y'all don't have that type. Then they was talking about the Haitians and how the Dominicans treat them, and so the Dominican, you know, was taking offense of. Then they threw us in the mix. We ain't Latin-speaking countries. They's like, why are y'all racist to Black Americans? I was like, shit, here we go. And I'm in the hallway just screen recording. And then they was like, oh, fuck that. Today's Black Americans are racist. He was like, one of them was like, you sound stupid. This is their country. I was like, oh, damn, okay. But you can't really let them start, you know, it's really iffy with them. Because once you allow them to speak for the ethnic group, our ethnic group, then I come in another panel and they speaking as if I'm not experiencing any type of microaggressions from the Latino community when I go in their businesses. I was like, listen, here, this is when me and Tetherville almost got into it because he dropped me because I cut him off. So I dropped him back. But we got over it. We was just anxious to get, bang on the tethers. We clashed a little bit. But that's fine. Me and nephew goes through it sometimes and, we get over it, right? So finally, I had to tell him, y'all ain't really from New York. Stop telling these people they from New York if they got a homeland somewhere else. They ain't from this soil. They ain't got ancestors from the 1800s, and even the early 1900s in this soil. A lot of the islanders, and I believe Toy Toy said that the Arabs, they send their bodies back home. They don't never visit it in their life, or maybe once or twice, but they're always trying to scramble to bury their loved ones at home. So that's what I mean by the Caribbean shootout. They have so many problems between those islands. I don't understand why they even venture into our rooms to bother us. Then I saw some not Pan-Africans, some Africans. They were going at it. I think it was Liberia and some other place. Whatever, not my business, right? But it was very entertaining. So I should have put the African, shootout there too. Labor market shrinkage. What I do sometimes to pick my topics is I Google current trends and then I read up on it. And I also tell them when they're giving me the information and they are speaking about the Black community, make sure they put foundational Black Americans or Black American Negro descendants of freedmen or Black Americans, U.S. chattel slavery descendants. I've been really be telling ChatGPT this. Right now I'm using Gemini. I be telling them, don't use common communities of interest, don't use minorities, don't use people of color, don't use marginalized groups when you are speaking about Black Americans. Don't use African American either. When they try to give hoodoo to West Africa, I'd be like, come on now. We were isolated. We spent more time around the indigenous and Europeans. The hoodoo is not African. Stop confusing hoodoo for African. And you know what they tell me? And I'm going to post it too. I got to put music and everything to my post, y'all. I like mood music. They be like, you know what? You're right. Because, and I'm like, what is this? Like, who is programming Chat GPT? Hey, Housing. Because why are they labeling everything African, African American, or Little Africa when it was known as land of the blacks? Some places in New York, right? So since the 1600s, we've had land and have called ourselves land of the blacks. So we own place, and Housing probably could back me up if he knows this history. Soho Village was given to us by the Dutch, like that area, Greenwich Village, and I believe Lefferts Boulevard, some other places. So there were wealthy Black landowners
We can't
here.
forget about Seneca Valley, Central Park,
Yes, Seneca Village, yes. But do you
Seneca
know what
Village.
I'm realizing? Now, if you read the resource, they say the Irish was there too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen. They work diligently and subtly trying to exclude us from anything that is associated with us from back in the days.
Okay, because I was just telling everybody who's entering the room about my prompt, right? So for the past few weeks, ever since I'm gonna say the second week of Black History Month, I've been trying to destroy the narrative of Tetherville. That's actually what my prompts usually have titled in them somewhere, right? Because this is what I hear. New York was built by immigrants. I do have I'm gonna drop the call to action to make the mayor retract his statement. He did give I know I jumped from topic to topic. Just bear with me. I usually circle back around. He did give an apology. He had the wrong terminology, and it was a small platform. Shout out to the blogger or the vlogger, the podcaster. Shout out to that young lady who asked him the question, right? I had my petition going, my email campaign before she asked him. And she got him he apologized. He did. However, for me, the verbiage was wrong because he called the ancestors Black New Yorkers. We do understand that the Caribbean, the Africans, all these other people are now identifying as Black, even some Afro-Latinos.
I
Okay.
interrupt you for a minute,
Yep.
BX.
Yep.
You know, it's like, I'm gonna give you an example. When say like someone has been committed a crime, right?
hmm
And a picture is posted up of the individual, right?
hmm
They know this individual is not a Black American, but yet and still, the media will just put a Black American face up there, even though that's not the case. They don't care if they got it wrong, they dropped the ball. It's the first impression leaves the last impression, the image. Because most people only believe what they see. And
Thank you
then,
for the likes and the gifts, y'all.
yeah, I'm gonna
hmm
spin back around to the man. The man knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
And this leads me to my next statement,
Yes,
right?
carry on.
Okay. So shout out to the podcaster who asked him the very important question, right? And he apologized. However, she's not mainstream. He disrespected or contributed to the ancestors and our erasure on a main stage. On a main stage, it probably went global. And that's where I want the apology to be done. Now, other New Yorkers may say, I don't care. Oh, he could keep his apology, blah, blah, blah. However, I have bodies from the 1700s in this soil, and I want an apology for them. Period. I want an apology for myself. Because I got to tell you, that reparations hearing is a sham. And they're in collusion with the Caribbean. So I'm going to tell you this story too. I just realized the unfairness to foundational Black Americans. And if we get them to start apologizing and not backtracking, but apologizing for the ways they contribute to our erasure, maybe things would be a little bit more fair to us. A little bit more. Because right now, they're just running them up, erasing us all over the place, coming to our reparations hearings, not taking us, who descend from U.S. chattel slavery, our proposals, no problem, housing, seriously. So I did have, ancestors from New York and New Jersey who were enslaved by the Dutch. I wrote that the first time I sent a testimony to the reparations hearings. I was so excited that the commissioner, who is now the director, she was voted in as the director, wrote me back and told me how important it was that I continue to keep writing because this was a matter of testimony and this was really about us. They didn't put Dutch enslavement on the docket, y'all. They didn't put the Dutch enslavement on the docket until months later, after the Caribbean went to talk to the Brits at the UN. Good morning, Bookie. Rich Rising, Love and Life. They put the Dutch on the docket after the Caribbean was told no at the UN by the Brits that they would not get cash payments. The Caribbean showed up at our reparations hearing. Maybe 2 hearings later, and was like, they was taking bodies from Jamaica and bringing them here for rum. Didn't have an ancestor's name, didn't speak respectfully about it, didn't have any emotion about it, just real, like, entitled. Meanwhile, she was standing there looking and sounding like she just got off the plane with her fresh green card or naturalization papers. Okay? So then, the next hearing, they had the Dutch on the docket. And the only reason why I haven't gone in virtually or physically, I prefer to write because I'm a very good writer when I really get down to it. The frustration, the anger that I feel, I'm gonna get arrested, y'all. Like I'm gonna literally get arrested. Because I think I have a message for the Caribbean, right? Like stay out of our hearings. Y'all have CARICOM, the things that Yvette Clarke is getting y'all. You got your reparations from this country already. The way y'all snaked us out of home ownership, y'all got your reparations from this country already. And it was the Brits that mashed up your island, right? That's how they talk. The Brits mashed up your island. You don't really have total independence. Y'all don't own any of the beaches over there. You're protesting for that. You're fleeing all over the place, being melanated crackers and gentrifiers and colonizers and shit. And then you're snaking people because Yvette Clarke, and we go over this all the time, Yvette Clarke authors bills specifically for Haiti and the Caribbean that has funding attached to it. And when U.S. Freedmen asked her for support or to co-sponsor, she's silent. But she's so adamant that we just cannot support the SAVE Act at a rate of 76% that she don't believe it. Well, she better start believing it, because she better see that Jasmine Crockett lost her seat. She got to see Kamala didn't win presidency. And Gavin thinks he's throwing his hat into the ring for president. Who's voting for Gavin Newsom? Who's going to vote for Karen Bass? The Dems got to realize we are sending messages, and they're really from the ancestors. I think they're tired of all of this, because I know I am. No, they got to be frustrated. And so it's just such a shame that instead of them allying with us or being more fair to us, because you don't really have to align with people to be fair to them. We did everything in this land. So, Mandami's disrespect was loud on a main stage, on a political stage, and his apology should be given the same way. I want an apology. Period. And Ali Dye says, Newsom, he's just a jawline in a suit. You know, wasn't Newsom, when he first was running for some type of office, wasn't he like the golden boy? Everybody thought he was going to do real well. And I even looked at him like, I think that was Newsom. He turned out to be a piece of work. If he's who I'm thinking he is. Y'all can request up if y'all want. Or I'll monologue until people with their homework come in. But yeah. So he turned out to be a piece of work. Karen Bass is a piece of work, but she hasn't been in the news lately. Is there an update on her? What is she doing? Are all the immigrants hiding? Like, what's going on over there? Black Vanguard probably somewhere. I don't know if he'll come a peek in the room or not. Usually he'll give me an update. Good morning, Black American House. Today's Black Love Power Couple Day. Did you do your homework, American House? Rich Rising. Black Americans House says Rich Rising to everyone. So also on the prompt is something I never heard before. A whycation. So when I looked into whycation, it states that instead of choosing a vacation for destination, you choose it for your emotions. Why do you need to go? To avoid burnout, to avoid other stuff, right? But it's all based off of your emotion instead of destination. So I'm like, well, maybe it's time for an FBA vacation for the fact, for transparency, okay. For the fact that I'm frustrated, I know others are frustrated. Yeah, I didn't do my homework, but here, take these horseshoes for you. Here's some horseshoes for you. Thank you for the gifts. So, I don't know. But I did say that we were going to start looking. He says, yeehaw. I want to go to a rodeo. I really want to travel to Texas and go to a rodeo. Or do a trail ride. I can't ride. I'm going to be on the sidelines cheering on the beautiful women. And if the men participate. But the last trail ride I seen was all women. They were gorgeous too. I was like, damn, I got to get my weight up. They's gorgeous. and natural on the horse too. So do you feel like Googling something? So why? Okay, the real estate crisis. I said we was gonna look into AOC. So I asked pretty much the same things that I asked of Yvette Clarke. Like, what successful legislation has Yvette Clarke secured for the Caribbean and the Haitians compared to what she successfully uh, legislated for us or secured for foundational Black Americans only, right? So I asked of AOC, and I guess I'll get into it, and hopefully, somebody will come join the panel with me and give me their feedback. And why you didn't do your homework? You were all bubbly this morning, but now the homework was done. And Keita, I know where she at. I know who panel she on too. She gonna come over here and say something. Watch. So, yeah, I got it. Okay, so I'm gonna take a breather from Yvette Clarke. I think it's important to he's laughing to enter in AOC. She's also up for re-election. Good morning, Gia. She's also in New York, out of New York, but she is the United States representative. She is problematic for everybody. The goal is to shake up the Democrats, right? And we do know AOC is trying to vulture our reparations by latching on the Latinos, even asks, what about Latino lives? Don't they matter? In response to something that happened with BLM. But we know BLM is not our organization. Are we saying Black lives don't matter? No, we're not saying that. Black lives absolutely matter, right? But when certain organizations come into play and certain movements get co-opted, and then it becomes a self thing for the organization, then we're looking at you crazy when you bring up certain things. BLM was created by two tethers, and their mission changed to where they sort of removed the Black man from the Black family and made it a QUEER type of movement. So going to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She entered politics as a grassroots organizer, famously defeating a 10-term incumbent in 2018. Her background in the demographic shifts of her distinct have heavily influenced her legislative focus, which often prioritizes immigrant rights and Latino-centric issues. Her beginnings and history of Yorktown Heights. So my query, right, my search question was to give her background, how she got started, and talk about the anti-Black American town that she came from, that she was raised in. Just so we could have that history there, right? While born in the Bronx, Ocasio-Cortez moved to Yorktown Heights in Westchester County at age 5 for better schooling. Historically, Westchester County has faced significant criticism and federal legal action regarding its resistance to integration. In 2009, a landmark anti-discrimination lawsuit, and it says U.S. Example REL, Anti-Discrimination Center versus Westchester County, revealed that the county had consistently failed to affirmatively further fair housing. The area's history includes exclusionary zoning and a documented environment of anti-Black American sentiment, which Ocasio-Cortez has cited as a formative experience in witnessing the zip code disparity between her hometown in Yorktown and her family in the Bronx. And I bet you she didn't mention Black. She probably didn't mention Black people or entered the Latinos into the mix. I'm of the belief if they have a hometown, like, why are they bothering us? I mean, the homeland. So it says comparative analysis, legislative initiatives. Ocasio-Cortez's platform is often characterized by broad progressive goals, but the specific beneficiaries of her targeted advocacy show a clear trend toward the immigrant and Latino communities. Then it says initiative category, advocacy for Latinos and immigrants, advocacy for foundational Black Americans. So that'll be the order that I'm going to read it in. I'm going to repeat that again. The initiative category, the advocacy for Latinos and immigrants, and then it will be advocacy for foundational Black Americans. So her first initiative category, as stated, is direct legislation. And then it goes on to say, introduce the 9/11 Immigrant Worker Freedom Act and consistently advocates for a pathway to citizenship. For foundational Black Americans, her direct legislation primarily focuses on general criminal justice reform and Medicare for all, which are universal rather than specific to the lineage of U.S. freedmen. Her international and regional, for the Latinos and immigrants, she led a congressional delegation to South America, which includes Colombia, Chile, Brazil, to address U.S. intervention and migration. For foundational Black Americans, she has not led a specific foundational Black-focused mission to address domestic lineage-based disparities. Good morning to everybody coming in the room. If I didn't get to say hi to you. Her agency oversight. For Latinos and immigrants, she's a vocal advocate for abolishing ICE and ending migrant detention. For foundational Black Americans, she focuses on defunding the police in a general sense, often framing it through the lens of all people of color rather than the specific history of the U.S. freedmen. Which makes sense because remember when I played the video of her stating mass incarceration, that Latinos were targeted because of mass incarceration and stuff like that, and so they should get reparations with us, or reparations in general. Her economic support. AOC champions the inclusion of undocumented people in the social society safety net, and it's just society bills. For foundational Black Americans, this is what they have. Advocates for federal jobs guarantee and Green New Deal, which are broad and do not prioritize foundational Black American lineage. So, y'all may not remember this, but I've watched this video more than twice. And when she's speaking on reparations, she said reparations will not come from slavery, but in the form of the New Deal. Do y'all see how that works? The Black Americans House says, it's so interesting. AOC is so occupied with the illegals, but not worried about Luma in Puerto Rico. Good morning, Black American Radio. So here is AOC stance on reparations and infrastructure. And the reason why I asked about this specific topic is because when we found out that her and Trump had given what could be considered a form of reparations to the island of Puerto Rico, I believe it was, one of our reporters ran up on her and was like, so, what can you tell me about reparations for Black people? And she was like, oh, we got to check the infrastructure. He said, what do you mean check the infrastructure? We built the infrastructure. And she gave some other half-assed, answer. So that's why I asked specifically about her views on reparations and infrastructure. So, Ocasio-Cortez has expressed hesitancy regarding lineage-based reparations for foundational Black Americans. She has stated that the infrastructure for reparations needs to be studied further, citing concerns about how to implement it. Concurrently, she has suggested that the Latino community deserves a form of reparations specifically for mass incarceration and the WAR on schmug, on hard candy. By shifting the focus from the historic debt of slavery to contemporary issues like incarceration, she effectively pivots the conversation away from the specific claim of U.S. freedmen. You hear that, Black American House? So now, when I heard that, and I've been saying the 13th Amendment is the mass incarceration is the direct result of the 13th Amendment being ratified, which emancipated our ancestors state by state, right? And slavery would be abolished unless they were incarcerated. No Latinos were targeted due to that period of history, right? Because they weren't in the country. So they were on their island undergoing their own forms of persecution, right? So it says the 13th Amendment and historical distinction. Let's see if I was correct, because I didn't even read this part. It is historically critical to distinguish between the legal status of Puerto Rico and the emancipation of Black Americans. The 13th Amendment, 1865, this amendment was the direct legal tool for the emancipation of Black Americans from chattel slavery. It was not a vestige of Puerto Rican history, as Puerto Rico was under Spanish rule until the 1898 Spanish-American WAR. Acquisition first enslavement. The acquisition of Puerto Rico was a result of American imperialism and the Treaty of Paris. While Puerto Ricans have faced colonial struggles, their history does not mirror the 250 years of chattel slavery followed by Jim Crow that defines the foundational Black American experience. Funding and support for legislation. Ocasio-Cortez has been highly effective in securing community project funding for her district, with a visible emphasis on immigrant servant organizations. I gotta tell you, the Bronx, the districts that she's over, are filthy. They're filthy. Who remembers? So I don't know where this money is going, right? But she did say she built a school for Albanian children in one of those town hall calls I was in. Were y'all in the room one day when I said, the people of the Bronx look beat down? I'm looking for people that, look good. I was thinking about going to church, because that's where the pretty people gotta be. Y'all gotta understand, I was raised by a grandmother. I was raised by my father, but my grandmother, she ran everything, right? She's one of those ladies, always looked her best, was married to a pastor. And when that marriage broke up, because she was married a couple of times, right? She married military men. Everybody today who remembers my grandmother, they always talk about how nice she dressed. My grandmother used to tell me, don't go outside with your hair looking all crazy. And I always say, if Granny would see me with these head ties on my head, and she would have a fit, she would say, I don't care if you're going to the store, look your best. You never know who you're going to meet. This is a lady who used to call my father and tell him to send me, travel the city to meet her so we could go get our hair done together, y'all. So I'm looking around the Bronx. I'm like, there's no pretty people around here. I got to go to church. Really and truly, I literally said that. It was so bad, I went uptown to the Bronx. North Bronx is usually the cleaner part of the Bronx. And I noticed the African presence there. The establishments are there where they were never there before. Had me feeling bad for the Jamaicans, because that was their area. There was 2 Jamaican clubs right across from each other. You go to one, then you run to the other one, right? And then they have their little restaurants and stuff. The awnings to the Jamaican restaurants look so bad. I felt sorry. I said, what happened here? What is going on? Then I'm looking at the African restaurants. I said, everywhere these people go, dirt surely follows them. Because I ain't never seen the North Bronx looking that bad. Never. So I used to live all over the city, every borough. Bronx, born and raised. But as I have my children, I live in Manhattan, I live in Brooklyn, wherever. Like my father would tell you, right? If I find something wrong in my apartment, like a mouse, I'm moving. I'm packing, I'm moving. Because don't let everybody on the internet fool you that we all have mice or rats in our homes. We just don't. So that's why I moved, because I wasn't raised with them shits in my home, right? So the North Bronx was usually cleaner than every other part of the Bronx. But the Africans did it. Had me feeling bad for the Jamaicans, because it was the Jamaican area at one time. During the 1990s, maybe the 2000s, and everything's looking dirty. Just look at that. So going back to AOC, she's over some of these districts that look a mess, and they telling me that she getting money for community funding. She told us in the town hall call Yes. Even Parkchester looks bad, Ife. So, she got money to build an Albanian school. I thank God they pick up the garbage, but I ain't heard a street sweeper, I'm saying, about a year. Now, I'm not always up during the day to hear it, but when I am up, like now, I don't hear a street sweeper. I don't even think people moving their cars at this point in time. So we have a bunch of immigrants, because we could just go and put Puerto Ricans with the immigrants in that. In these districts, over these districts, I don't know what Brooklyn looked like. I don't know what Yvette Clark's district looked like. But I think where there's white tea gentrification, they get the resources. So if I could see African establishments in some places, I don't think they're going to get the resources. I know them off-brand Latinos, meaning they're not Puerto Rican, they're not Dominican, hell, they ain't even Mexican, right? Those type of Latinos got the South Bronx, like Westchester Avenue, Elder Avenue, Whitlock, and all them places. They just got their stuff laid out on the floor like it's a flea market. Ain't a cop in sight to bother them about a vendor's license, right? Like they used to bother my friends. They got that bitch looking like a third world country too. Now, I don't think it's as bad as real third world countries, but we are used to a certain standard. Like, clean this shit up. That's. I just want to get a bullhorn, get a national address going, and tell the local politicians, like, yo, y'all doing too much. Just clean this shit up. Just do that. Like, turn on some old school R&B. I don't want them listening to gospel. They can hear some old school R&B and just clean this shit up. The gospel, we're going to keep to ourselves. That's part of our majority spirit. They don't need to partake in that, y'all. But if anybody want to come up, because I'll be thinking I'm a comedian in my head. Good morning, D. And I'll just be up here spouting some corny lines. But let me get back to it. So she is like getting funding and stuff, and I don't see no improvements anywhere that I've gone. But that's just my anecdotal. Right? So I said, okay, so she secure, I can't talk this morning, $500,000 for new immigrant community empowerment. Called, the acronym is called NICE, y'all. This is where AOC is getting the immigrants. And that's for construction training and $2 million for the Shia Community Development Corporation to support South Asian immigrant housing. Did y'all hear that? Y'all want me to emphasize this again? So, it says funding and support for legislation. Ocasio-Cortez has been highly effective in securing community project funding for her district with a visible emphasis on immigrant-serving organizations. Funding obtained. She secured $500,000 for new immigrant community empowerment, for construction training, and $2 million for the Shia Community Development Corporation to support South Asian immigrant housing. Now, the new immigrant community empowerment, the acronym is NICE, and that's for construction training. She also secured $10 million specifically to clean up toxic sites in Puerto Rico. There goes your Puerto Rico thing, work there for your Black American house. Okay. Silence on specific legislation. When asked for support regarding specific legislation for U.S. freedmen or lineage-based Black American policies, she often remains silent or redirects the conversation to all marginalized groups. She's a J-Lo. This umbrella, she might be worse than J-Lo, because all we got to do is turn the radio off for J-Lo, right? We ain't got to hear or watch her movies, right? Enough was a good movie. That was good, right? But the rest of J-Lo stuff, I don't like. AOC is in our government, y'all. Just being J-Lo. So this umbrella approach effectively dilutes the specific claims of those whose ancestors were enslaved in the United States, specifically New York, because the chick is in New York. She's over a district in New York, and also the United States representative. If y'all not willing to go get off the couch or vote by mail to kind of get her out of office, I don't know what to tell y'all. So we're winding AOC's little mini deep dive down here. And it says the distinction of the Black community. The distinction between the foundational Black American community and the broader immigrant community, which includes Caribbean, Latino, and other groups, is a matter of lineage and specific historical claim. Lineage versus immigrant status. Foundational Black Americans are the descendants of those enslaved in the U.S. during the colonial and antebellum eras. Hearings and voice. There is no historical or legal basis for Puerto Ricans or other Latino groups to have a say in foundational Black American reparations hearings. The debt of slavery and the subsequent centuries of systemic exclusion are owed to the lineage that built the country under the lash, not to the groups who arrived later under different legal frameworks. Mixing these identities undermines the specific justice claim of the Black community. Boom. And that's from Gemini. And let me read y'all the questions that I asked that gave us these answers. Okay. I get kind of testy. This is a long ass question because I had to make sure they understood what I was saying. Rich Rising, Sister Keita, come up. I hope you have your homework. Listen to my question. This is how you got the information from
Rich
AOC.
Risings.
Huh?
I said Rich Risings, Grand Risings, Auntie.
Rich Rising. So
Yes.
I said we were deep diving into AOC. You're gonna have to catch the playback because this shit about to piss me off.
Okay, I'll catch the playback.
Listen, my search term though to get the responses I get was, tell me about AOC's beginning in politics along with the history of her hometown having anti-Black American sentiments. Do not call Black Americans African or African Americans, but do a bulleted list of a comparative analysis of all the initiatives she champions for Latinos and other immigrants versus foundational Black Americans, without mentioning ADOS and how she said, sorry, I had to put ADOS in there, y'all know. Nothing against the members at all. I just don't identify as ADOS, and I want foundational Black American to start being recognized more in the algorithm. Go ahead, Keita.
No, I was just saying I agree with you. Now I'm listening.
Thank you. And then I go on to say, and how she said that she was unsure of reparations for just FBA due to checking the infrastructure and wanting the Latinos to get reparations, not for slavery, but mass incarceration. Then list how the 13th Amendment wasn't a vestige of Puerto Ricans' enslavement or the acquirement of their island, but of Black Americans' emancipation era. Then list all the funding she has been able to obtain for Latinos and immigrants. And if she is silent when the FBA U.S. freedmen ask for support for legislation, be honest, but omit any African/African American references and explain why Puerto Ricans and other Latinos should never show up at an FBA reparations hearing. I went in on this question.
You went in, but you have to get in depth like that because guess what? If you don't, it'll make it abroad. I'm going to tell you what it did to me, and I had to check AI too because it brought up something. I'm like, why does this person make the list and I know that they not foundational? It said, oh yeah, yup, correction for me. I didn't know you wanted me to be that. So you really kind of got to tell it exactly what you're looking for so you're not wrong.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you do your power couple?
Yeah, I did. Man, I did. That's what listen, when I did it, why Barack and Michelle Obama. So I got pissed off. I said, why did you put Barack Obama? I said, he is not a foundational Black American. And then it said, oh, you are correct. He is of Kenyan descent. I don't know why he made this list. Let me correct that. Let me make a list now that you're saying that you want it to be descendants of on both sides. I said exactly, motherfucker. Right. So you have to tell AI exactly what you want because if you don't, it'll just be too abroad, So yes, I did my power couple and I also did my Black Woman of the Month. Well, we still celebrating Black women, right?
Oh yeah, I just took 2 days off to do Black Love because you said you didn't like leaving out the men, and I was
Right.
like,
So I was gonna do a Black woman, and then I was gonna do a Black couple because we still want to make sure we up our Black women. Obviously, it is Women's Month, and it's Black Women's Month to me. And all them white teen women, they can acknowledge themselves or whoever else. So I'm focused on our people. So I was gonna do a Black woman, and then I was gonna do a Black power couple.
okay, but I do want to talk to you because I was scrolling. Auntie was in the hallway. I want you to remember this, right? I don't know how long you've been on TikTok amongst us, but Black Americans and those who identify as Black Americans are there. Since y'all platforms are fairly new, the American Indians that we already battled it out with are being slipped. Literally, they're going in new rooms stating their claim for why blacks should be removed from censuses, right?
Oh, I know what you're
They
talking
don't get
about.
to
I'm listening.
right. So some want to use the term original American. And I asked Tariq because he visited Afro Elites Live, right? This is the only time I ever really got to talk to Tariq. And I asked this question because Auntie was up here taking hits by herself.
Okay.
Like I was really getting knocked upside my head on these panels from the American Indians because I'm standing 10 toes down. We're not removing black. I don't know how everybody felt when Negro was removed, but we ain't doing that to us with black. When if you go to original American, the Mexicans gonna come up. Well, we indigenous here. This was our land first. You're gonna have all types of the Asians was here during enslavement. They got descendants from Asian enslavers living here today. Just met their Asian family. Right? So you have all these pockets, all these groups. Native Americans going to be like, well, we're the real original. No matter how we identify Keita, somebody's going to try to identify with us or stake a claim to it.
Okay.
I'm wondering why we have to conform and just not remove African American. Why does everybody want to conform to these immigrants? Oh, because the immigrants are, what came first, black or African American? I'm confused. Because, right, many of our birth certificates are going to say black. They're not going to ever say African American. African American will not be on any census until the 2010s are released, and they're only up to 1950 if you're doing genealogy. Not only that, remove black and you allow the Caribbean to tether on because a lot of times those American Indians are by ethnic Caribbeans or full Caribbeans trying to tether onto the claim. They don't call yourself black. They just came in Black Americans' room, some of them, and the ringleader, the maker of the petition, peeped their head up. So when I blocked her, her minions crashed out on the panel and I had to fucking curse my ass off at them. You're fucking African and you're fucking African. I'm a wild enemy. Enemy, right? I'm a wild Indian. I'm an Indian. They are Caribbean. They are South American. Some of them are Latino Caribbean, right? And these are more than likely the people that want to remove the term black. That lady indigenous knows what she's doing. She when I come in the room, she'd be like,
Oh, she
we
get
all
little.
battled it out already.
Oh.
We've had these battles already. And what I'm noticing is they're going into new rooms or who they think is new. Why? Because a lot of Black Americans stop fucking going to their rooms already. We stopped. Because we was like, okay, y'all identify. We had it like we kept the peace here, right? To the point where they started saying FBA is scared of them, right? And I was like, that's dumb. We all got the grandma story. We all have indigenous ancestors. It's just a matter that we're lineage and they're just a little different than we are. That's how I was going at it. But then they started every moment. They was talking about my kids. Why? Because I said the Caribbean can't get reparations with us. So now I'm just a motherfucking African to them.
Okay.
So I'm not telling you how to think, but just know,
Right. Just be
everybody
aware.
has an
Just be
agenda.
aware. I appreciate that. Cause I kept wondering, I'm like, well, why? I was listening. I'm like, well, I get it, but then she was like, she gave me the definition of what black men or whatever in the thing, and I didn't hear revenue say that too. You know what I'm saying? That racial category, but black, it's like not even just a race to me. It's my experience. You know what I'm saying? Black is more than whatever. It's not the color of my skin. You feel me? It's what they labeled us as because to separate us from white, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like black people even took that name because they was calling us Negro and Negroid. And I think black people created black to go to counter white, right? Am I correct about that? When they was talking about the white tea power and white power, this and that. So we came up with black power. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like a counteract of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So it does have a significance to us, like more than the color of our skin. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. Why would we want to remove black? Because black this is it distinguishing us against everybody else.
So listen to this. And I could speak for New York. In 1644, the Dutch gave us what it was called half freedom, right? Which meant that the parents were emancipated, but the children were either indentured or enslaved. They were also given land by the Dutch. So places such as Greenwich Village, Soho, Lefferts Boulevard was called Land of the Blacks. We have been calling ourselves blacks in certain regions throughout centuries here in America, right? Black, if we go to the civil rights movement, this may kind of hurt what I'm trying to say to you. MLK was against us calling ourselves black. Now you remember some of our ancestors that you'll hear people say, "Well, if my elder heard you say black, she'd be ready to fight you." They were Negro. They like Negro. They didn't want to be black. MLK, and Stokely told this conversation himself. MLK did not like the term black. MLK went away for another engagement. Stokely stood on the stage and said that black and proud or something like that. And when MLK came back, they had some words.
Oh,
Right?
well, I didn't know that.
Right. So there goes the Caribbean undermining us again, and Stokely made it known that he waited until MLK left. Now these are on old tapes. I got this from an indigenous lady, right? She has a beautiful platform. She does celebrity topics, but every Friday or so, she used to have like educational Fridays, and she would show certain things from civil rights movement behind the scenes, this and that, who, why, they would send certain civil rights leaders to kind of calm down the crowd when the crowd was, the ancestors or elders was ready to tear the shit up, right? Kind of time, yeah, calm down, we'll get it done, don't worry about it, that type thing. But Stokely is the one who put black out there. And to me, it's like undermining MLK. People don't see it the way I see it. They don't see Stokely as problematic. So I say all of that to say this. Any way we identify, somebody's going to use it to their advantage to get rid of black. Now, though, because we did have Black Panther Party. Good morning, Chichia. Good morning, Gia. We had our black is bold, black is excellent, support black businesses. I think for the most part, everybody else know they're not black. They're just trying to appropriate for the benefits. And we do know it's not black/African American, right? We could remove the African American. The black did come first for many of us. It did. I just think that they're being sneaky when they be like, don't call yourself black. It means unalive in the eyes of the law. We've been black for so many years. Our ancestors from, I'm going to say, the late 1880s to the 1990s in the South were calling themselves black.
Yep, I was black. I've been black since I was born. Like I said, African American came when I was like transitioning from elementary to middle school. They started transitioning that word, but all my elementary and growing up before I got into like the 8th grade, yeah, it was black. That's
So
it.
I'm wondering why now? Like, why are some people like, we shouldn't call ourselves black now? And that's the tether on
Well,
this
you
little
want to
video.
know why? The definition that they got, like I said, revenue, use it all the time. When you look up black, it
Mhm.
says African, it got all those different ethnicities under it. That's why. I don't know.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. That's new, isn't it?
Yes,
That's
that's
new.
new.
Okay,
Yes.
then. Why would we, if we're not letting them have African American, we just want it retired, why would we let anybody else have black?
Right. So how do we? Because it's in the it's in the dictionary now. The shit pisses me off.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. A black American had Merriam-Webster change the definition of racism or
Okay.
racist.
Okay.
We have power in this land, and I'm not conforming to the immigrants. They have to conform to us. So
Right.
I'm gonna give you this delineation bill by. So what, Brother Simon, and I was hoping he was up earlier, but he may be on somebody's panel. Um, Brother Simon is with a lobbyist group, and they secured Black American Negro descendant of freedmen. When you put it like that, Black American Negro descendant of freedmen, that includes everything that our ancestors were identified as:
Mm.
mulatto, Creole, Geechee, Negro, even colored, right? That
Mm-hmm.
fits who we are, and it removes the African American.
Mm.
I'm in agreement with removing African American. And Brother Simon, because he knows how to articulate and he literally does the legislation part of it, him and his lobbyist group, I'm like the one that he trusts to give guidance to because he knows that I'm passionate and on these panels and will speak up about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I kind of went live early just to kind of get you off the panel so I could talk to you and
Okay.
not have a clash on who's live.
Yes.
Because I see that they're being slick. They're being slick. They're going in new rooms to say this shit to y'all.
And I'm
Because
gonna
they
let that
already
be
know we're not
known
conforming
too.
to the immigrants.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let that be known to the host as well, though. I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna be like, we need to be aware of that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
So that's a delineation bill right there. We already have American Negro descendants of freemen,
I'm finna copy
right?
it.
And then we have Black American, no, we have American Negro descendants. Black American Negro descendants. Then we have Black American Negro descendants of freedmen. That means, because not everybody's going to find their ancestor on the freedman's record, right?
Right.
So those who don't find their ancestor on the freedman's record will still be covered under Black American Negro descendant. So there's two self-identifiers that we have that won't latch on Africa. It'll keep us right here where we're supposed to be, descendants of freedmen.
Okay. That's why I
Right?
love talking.
But
I
see,
love
that's
talking
not for
with you because you're gonna
everybody.
help keep me on the right path. You feel me? I love constructive criticism. So don't feel bad and don't not tell me nothing. If you see me veering off or you see me being too, you know what I'm saying, open mind, like I need your guidance. I trust your wisdom. Like I keep telling you, you're the reason why I'm on TikTok. You understand? Like
Thank you.
yeah, so I came here to sort out you. I loved your voice. I love the way you ran that panel. I like this lady, and she's so New York. Like I gotta meet her. You know what I'm saying? So I sought you out. So
I love Michigan too. I
I'm just
remember you from
graced to be in
Flint.
your presence. You understand? I see who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. And also I gotta, I identify as foundational Black American. Once you put the foundational in there, there's no other way they could get in, no matter how hard they try.
I agree.
Yeah. So we do have options. I say this. This is the first time we've ever been faced in modern day history with understanding what ethnocide is outside of reading it, right? So everything that our activists are doing is a start. Does it need tweaking? Yeah, some stuff will need tweaking, but we ain't never been through nothing like this before, but we're doing well. We're doing good. Look at Cali. Let's take Cali. Let's take Black Vanguard. And the
Yes.
work, right. What they got was the SB 515. Now, there's three boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it says African American,
Okay.
U.S. descendants of chattel slavery. Then it says African American, not of U.S. chattel slavery descent, something like that, right? Then
Mm.
it says the option to not identify, right? Or don't know. I don't even think they should have that second
Yeah, I
option.
think that's too. I think that I don't know why that's there.
Right. But it's a start. It's better than
Better than what
what
it
the
is.
American Indian was complaining about. Black/African American. She literally was complaining about Black/African American. But here you have it state descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. It's a start. Does it need tweaking? Yeah, yeah. We want African American going. I know Black Vanguard probably want foundational Black American descendant of, but it's a start. Nobody
It's a
was paying
start.
attention to us, and whenever we made headway, and if Simon bring his ass in here, he could tell you. Whenever we made headway, you know what would happen?
Mhm.
Organizations like the Urban League would step up and write 10-page letters on why XYZ shouldn't happen for us, why we shouldn't be have a distinction made for us. Meanwhile, the Caribbean has a distinction made for them. I'm just saying we got to stop conforming. They're immigrants. Why do we have to change everything about ourselves for them now?
That makes
African
sense.
American does have to go though.
Yeah, African American. But is it gonna be? Is it gonna be retired, or will it still be able to be used because of all of the, the things that are under it in our, in our laws and stuff, like, and in our, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, look how many times they reclassified us,
yeah,
right?
right.
So this ain't nothing that they had to change shit before, ain't nothing changed. They're gonna have to change shit again when we get it the way we want. See, before I don't know if we understood the process, if our ancestors tried to go through the process, but I know we're going through this process and we understand how to get it removed. We see them doing it for other people. Why was men able to delineate out of the white tea box without you know, a
Right,
bunch
without
of shit given
legislation
to them?
being really changed and going through all that stuff. They did do it, didn't they?
And black politicians voted for that.
Mm.
The Caribbean probably did too. So if there's other groups able to come in this country and get exactly what they want, how they want it. I don't know how long they've been fighting for it, but they got it.
Because it's like
And
they don't get a lot of pushback.
right. And so I'm gonna say this. We're gonna make them give us what we want. The legal way. Not that's not a threatening way. I ain't going to knock nobody upside the head. But I'm tired of conforming. We started out telling them you can't identify us the same way you identify them other folks. But I'm gonna tell you this: when they say black means all these other ethnic groups, that started in the 1990s when we started getting them in that government. They went around messing stuff up. Why is it that Ebonics is now called African American Vernacular English when I hear the originator of the curriculum never wanted anything African attached to it? That's because Africans and Caribbeans got their asses in that government and started switching stuff around. We
Yep.
got to stop letting them win.
Hmm.
And we got Mia Love on the panel. Good morning, Mia.
Okay.
Maybe she
Oh,
don't know
good
she came
morning,
up.
Mia. Oh, yeah, Mia Love. She was in the room with us this morning.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so who? Oh, you was talking about AOC. I know we be all over the place, AT. I swear I could talk to you for hours and hours, girl. I
Thank
swear I
you.
could. Right?
Thank you.
We be all over. We be like this and talk about this girl, talk about this girl, and be like, girl,
Thank you, Slim.
what? So we was talking about AOC, but then you asked me about my stuff. So we're gonna go back to the AOC conversation, or we gonna stay right here where we at? Because I don't,
Oh,
I
I
don't
want to
want you to
hear
get off
about my
focus.
couple
Yes,
because
and then
I
I was gonna
finished
ask
a
you
little
about your
deep dive.
amazing, beautiful couple I see on the screen.
Yes. Let me see if I can move this sticker. Okay. Oh, thank you, Slim Benjamin. That sticker was for you, but I moved it and it disappeared. So that is Albro and Mary J. Lyons. And I want to read about them, so I'm pulling up my notes on them. But AOC, that was the deep dive for AOC. I'm pretty sure I could find some more stuff to come up with, but I just wanted us to really, because I just say about AOC and what she said, I wanted y'all to really get the impact of her and her type of legislating. What's the lady's name? Mary J. Lyons. I just be closing tabs knowing I shouldn't.
Oh, this is good. I think we should do this power couple because I got a couple power couples that I want to get out there. Like, I mean, so I think we should definitely do another live because it's some amazing man. We are an amazing lineage, man. I'm just
Yeah.
excited about these homework assignments and just like the things I'm learning and yeah. So that part.
I'm trying to type mad fast because I don't like just silent on y'all.
Oh, okay, you good. But so yeah, so when I was looking up my Black Power couple BX, that was so funny, right? So like I said, Barack Obama came up and him and Michelle, and I look like all hell dog. Here go AI already on they bullshit. I said Barack Obama is not a foundational Black American, so why is he making the list? And here go AI. It said you're absolutely right to point that out. Within the specific lineage-based definition of foundational Black American (FBA), which refers to descendants of enslaved people in the United States, Barack Obama does not fit as his father was Kenyan.
Right.
Yeah, long as look, get it down, because stop putting him on. He is not us.
Exactly. So do you want to read yours first?
I mean, I will if you needed a little bit of time. Okay, so I did my power couple and I ended up finding Black power couples in the Black Wall Street era. So I want to acknowledge AG and Minnie Gaston. They were based in Birmingham. They built a multi-million dollar conglomerate, including a bank, a funeral home, and a business college. Their wealth was a silent engine for the civil rights movement, providing the bail money and meeting spaces for activists. So we want to give a shout out to AJ and Minnie Gaston for their excellence promoting Black excellence, having places where Blacks could put their money safely, and they also help in the movement that allow a lot of these immigrants to be able to come in our country of today. So I would love all the immigrants to tell Minnie and AG thank you. Thank you for their services. So yeah, that's my power couple. Yeah, AT, I
Beautiful.
kind of a nerd like you. I like doing my homework.
I like it too. I like it too.
Yeah.
Uh, you said you had a woman to spotlight too. Do you want to
Yes.
give?
Okay,
You
my Black woman.
welcome, Slim. And Mia, have a blessed day. Go ahead.
The Black woman that I wanted to acknowledge was Bessie Virginia Griffith, better known as Miss Bessie Blunt. She was born November 24th, 1914, and she lived all the way up until December 30th, 2009. She was a Black American writer, nurse, physical therapist, inventor, and forensic scientist. Ms. Blunt was known for her groundbreaking work in assistive technologies and forensic science. So I just be wanting us to know how smart our Black women is, how innovative we are. We've been like making changes. We've been nurturers. We've been healers. So, I'm just excited and to know that even back then our Black women was making major changes and being recognized and making breakthrough scientific discoveries. So I'm just proud of her, and I hope she enjoyed her life. And she was actually from New Jersey. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I tried to look up Flint, somebody in Flint power couples, but unfortunately, Lord Jesus, we only came up with Woodrow Stanley and his wife. So I said, yeah, I didn't want to do that one. So I was like, let me do deep dive. So shout out to my little city, but we still got some work to do.
Aww. Blount's are exceptional. As a matter of fact, Blount's early history, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what was her name? Bessie, right? Bessie or
Bessie, Miss Blount's.
Right. So Miss Blount, if she has family from the South, from the Carolinas, I'm willing to bet it's North Carolina because that's where my Blounts are from.
Oh, she was born in Virginia.
Okay, yeah. Still the South. Okay.
Yeah, still the South. Yeah. In Hickory, she was in Hickory, Virginia. Hickory, Virginia was her birthplace.
Did they say where her parents were born?
Let me see. Okay, I gotta do a little deeper dive. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Okay, well, let me tell you because the Blounts, right? Okay, so the Blounts from the Carolinas, right?
Yeah.
Specifically North Carolina. They were Tuscaroran. And what happened was they fought off the early settlers. Some were traders, right? Some stood 10 toes down, and the ones who had to leave the state actually were enemies of the state. So they had to fly under the Cherokee banner just to get out of the state, right? And so they migrated to places like New York. But I do have ancestors in New York and New Jersey. I have like a double connection. I don't know how deep y'all are into genealogy or even use the DNA test. Sometimes you'll find out that your mother and father may have a common ancestor even though they're not related, or ancestors with the same name who may have been in the same like it's really weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I find with my parents, right? And guess what? My stepmother, the woman who I said God really wanted me raised by these people, because my stepmother who actually really raised me. Also, doing paperwork without the DNA test, I find that me and her have an ancestor in common too.
Wow.
And she's from Virginia, and they migrated to Brooklyn, her family. Yeah.
Okay, look at small. They were like small world. Sometimes we be thinking like the world is actually smaller than we think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's interesting.
Yeah. So that branch of my family, because my grandmother, yeah, my mother was Cherokee, and my granny's going, right? The family's still saying Cherokee. And I'm like, y'all people may just not want to be black, because I'm not finding no connect. You know, they used to get so mad at me. And then finally, when I was getting my lineage verified, and the person who did was checking my family tree, when he saw the way that my Blounts were lined up on the census, he was like, and he showed me the primary source and everything. And I was like, wow. Okay, so that solved my mystery.
Okay.
Of why I couldn't find them listed as Cherokee anywhere. They weren't Cherokee. They just had to fly under the Cherokee banner. And it made sense that why my grandmother's parents, right? Mm-hmm. One was from North Carolina, one was from Alabama. They both migrated up to New York. They was just following their ancestors, whether they knew their ancestors came up before them or not. It just was normal for them to come up that way. So it's really interesting when you get into the thick of genealogy.
Right. That's why I said I can't wait to get rid, because everywhere we go, this word, look, African American inventors, 20th century of African American, like, oh Lord, that word, I'm just ready for it to go away.
Me too.
African American women writers, like, no. Oh, and guess what? Another thing I brought up the thing for May. You said you're gonna find out the date, but I just told them it might be around May. But when them Ghanaians supposed to come, I'm gathering up a crew. I'm really like putting the word, every panel I go on, I'm putting it out there. I'm really trying to get people for us to show up with you, where we can go and make our presence known and really let them leaders of Ghana know we don't want to be under you. Like, stop using our struggle, our ancestor struggle, and trying to put it on y'all. or we don't want your apology. We don't want your acknowledgement. We don't want nothing from y'all. We are not of y'all. And this is not African burial ground. This is Black foundational Black American burial ground. And these are our ancestors, and they don't appreciate y'all coming here.
Exactly. Exactly. I really don't think that the ancestors would have liked them or would have been all under the. I don't know about Pan Africanism. That's iffy. I'm starting to believe that it's a spell that started wearing off on others earlier than rather than later. I got to tell you, I think it was a spell.
Hey, I wouldn't. I believe in that type of stuff too. So it wouldn't like be something that I'd be like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'd be like, interesting. Let's like make sure we stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I believe in that type of stuff to a certain extent. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
to a certain
Because of my,
extent.
my grandpa mom and all of that, and her telling me like you could like you can do stuff to people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
yeah. So, and I'm like, yeah, that stuff is real. So she used to always tell me about that. Like, don't be doing this and don't let people, So she always got me superstitious as hell.
Yeah. I want to remind you that, and I'm just putting it out again, there's 400 and some odd representatives up for reelection.
Yes,
So yes, come meet me
I got some
at the
updates.
burial grounds when Ghana comes, but also meet your people at the polling sites or at the mail office when you picking up the mail-in
Yes,
ballots or dropping off the
yes.
mail-in
And
ballots.
I got some
Good morning,
information on
Shanika.
Michigan. I've been doing my research on my state, right? I
Yeah.
found out that our absentee voting begins June 25th. So you can request those absentee ballots. That's the best way to vote, absentee or early voting. Our early voting is actually July 6th for our primary, right? Our actual primary vote date is August 4th. And we all know the big general election is on the 3rd. I'm actually found out that how many different candidates we got running for governor. Girl, we got like about 14 different ones. I think it been down to 11 now, but it was like 14 or 15 of them who wanted to run. So I think some of them dropped out. So I think we got 11 different candidates that's running for governor. So far, I've seen two Black ones. One name is John James, but I've been seeing like a lot of negative press on him. And then I think that other one is that African that's trying to sneak in under the Republican too. I can't think of his name. I think he's the Eric Nips. I think that's him, the little African. So we have in our government. We voting for governor this election. U.S. Senate. We got one Senate seat coming up in Michigan. Gary Peters is retiring, so his seat will be up for grabs. And that Black lady that I thought was gonna be in the Senate race, I think she got dropped out for some reason. Because right now we only have four candidates, three Democrats and one Republican. So I guess I'll be voting for Mike Rogers. Cause I
I'm
know,
glad you on it though. I am so glad you are on it. We
yeah.
have to
So
be.
I've been doing it. I'm just hoping that people seeing me doing it for my state, I just hope it would interest them in doing it in a state because it's 50 states. I can't do all these states on my own, but I am very focused on my own because I feel like this is where I can make a difference by letting my people know what I have researched. So I am
Thank you for
researching it
mentioning that.
every day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I love that for us. I want to remind everybody again that Malcolm X's ballot or the bullet was about being politically strategic. And in those times, right, if we applied that sentiment, that principle to today's times, for us, it would really be this midterm election. We have to be really, really strategic. So a lot of people have been saying they want to see me in office. I did speak to somebody who I do consider a mentor who really guides me during this ethnocide, let me know the verbiage and the bills that should be pushed and stuff like that, right? And he was like, realistically, because it's New York, I would have had, okay, so I would only have until April to get 45,000 signatures. He's saying, like, don't take the thought out of my mind, but think next election period.
And let's get them signatures now. And see you with you being everybody love you. I know damn well you could get 20,000 just from this app.
You think so?
I think
I only
what?
got 340 some odd signatures for my petition. Let me put my petition in here again. And y'all can share it for me on other rooms if they allow y'all to. Now.
And that's the one that's that link that I just copied.
I don't know. No, that ain't it. That
Okay,
ain't
let
it.
me go
This
put this.
one,
Let me go put this in my Google though. So give me 1 second. I'll be right.
So this one is to demand that Mandami, or who I call Mandami, retracts his statement that this city was built by immigrants. The way he did that on a national stage, he has to give us an apology on a national stage. Or what are we talking about? Right? Say hi, my Nola. So here's my issue. Thank you to the lady who had the podcast who asked him the question. I had my petition before she asked the question, but she was the vessel to get in front of his face. Shout out to her, may her platform continue to prosper. However, the disrespect was done on a main stage, and the apology has to be on the main stage too. That's for me. Now, other New Yorkers were not a monolith. They may not even care, or they may not even want an apology. But as somebody whose ancestors literally buried here and was buried in 1825, right, upstate New York, I want an apology. I want an apology. The same way he disrespected them and contributed to their erasure and ours, I want his apology to be on the main stage. But shout out to the young lady. I checked the page. It's beautiful, very inspiring. You know, she's in the right places and stuff. Still, he didn't only offend her and her followers, he offended the whole nation. And so therefore he needs to apologize to the whole nation and the descendants of those who built this city. Thank you. Yep.
ABX.
Hey,
Good morning. Thank you for allowing
good
me.
morning,
Right.
Good morning,
Look,
Rio.
hey, good. What's happening? Hey, look here. I listened to that thing. Right.
Uh-huh.
He still didn't say it right. He said that Black Americans built two. No, we
Right.
built it, and you had added on to it. We
Right.
built it. You added on to it. Right. We built the foundation. You added a building on top of it. You know what I mean? So the proper language is definitely we didn't build two. We built it. You added to it. Right.
Right.
So language is very important when you asking him to say the right things. And although the young lady let him say it, if that would have been one of us, we would have immediately corrected him politely, respectfully. No, we didn't build two. We built it, sir. And you built on to it, sir. No. So language and correction has to be done right. And you're right, BX. He does need to make a public announcement, not on a page where a few thousand people see, but where the world hears you say it,
The
bro.
same way they heard him say it, the same way they need to hear him say that apology.
That's right.
Exactly.
Exactly,
And
ladies.
when
Thank
he
you.
said, no problem, when he said Black New Yorkers, that wasn't good enough. He really called them Black New Yorkers, if not mistaken.
That's disrespectful. That could be anybody up
Yeah,
there.
he
Exactly.
did say that. He did say it.
Right. Right.
That could be Caribbean, Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? With the way things going now and the way everybody under this blanket, that's not. Yeah, that's too abroad. He got to make it specific.
Thank you, Nola.
See, what they
Yes.
don't understand, when we say we're FBA, the only reason we had to put the F on it because y'all cosplays under our flat blackness, and we were part of it. We got to take the responsibility. We played it too. We didn't know, but now that we know, we have to distinguish ourselves from black, from even the word Black American, because a lot of them want to use hashtag Black American and hashtag African American. So what we have to do now is let you know what Black Americans are only us, foundational to the soil. The rest of y'all melanated people are who the fuck you are, and that's it.
Yeah,
You know, so yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just finna say, especially them first and second generations, they got that bad with saying Black American. I'm a Black American too. You feel me? I was born here. So it's like Okay, but your parents are not of this land, so you're not a Black American. Yes, I am. So it's just like, yeah, that's why we need foundational in front of it, period.
And that's what happens when you let shit go too long without checking it, right? Like I
Yes.
say, we're not saying that we didn't unknowingly know that we were playing into the flat blackness of actually giving you the okay unknowingly that you are black in America, because we was just cool and we wasn't checking it, right? You know, and we were kind of like, okay, you are black, we black, everybody,
Yeah.
until we woke the fuck up, and now we know that you're melanated, you're just in America, and the only thing black in America is us. Period.
Flat out.
So yeah,
Guess who's added again? They came on Black Americans page. Uh, the American Indians who call themselves wild Indians saying, you're black. Yeah, we're black. You're African. They added again. The woman who wants to remove black has a whole petition. I came in his room, but I blocked her. When I blocked her from his space, her peoples crashed out. Who were men?
hey, well,
But what I
go
hear is
ahead.
nobody's really following her anymore. I guess they tired of her shit. So she found two little crash outs to come and try to crash. And Black American for the most part was on the new page, so maybe they thought it was a new content creator and decided to come in there and try their hand.
Yeah, BX, let me ask you something. Are you playing music? I want to make sure it ain't my music playing on top of
No,
yours.
it's yeah, not Facebook, sorry. TikTok. It has sound effects and I can play music throughout the live. It has preset music. It has
Oh,
jazz,
you found something that
romance.
nobody got. Yeah, nobody knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I thought
Yeah,
it
this
was you
TikTok
broke out
music.
the I thought you had a record player over there. I said,
Yeah,
well, look
yeah. I
at
just
AT
wanted to make.
over there
Uh-uh.
with a record player. I said she got it with her little tea and crumpets over there while she giving us the live. I just knew you was over there with
Man,
Thank
the
you.
that's
record
cool. That's
player.
cool. Hey, but that all we got to do, BA, really, because we got to always remember this, and I want us to really always remember this. Our ace in the hole is our ancestors, right? So everybody got to crash out for the separation to be totally. Everybody got to get out the paint type of thing, right? So with that said, I don't really worry about it. It will play itself out just like everything else is, you know. It just has to be revealed to our people. And once they recognize it, they adjust themselves. That's why she ain't gonna have no followers. Because black Americans ain't on that shit. We focusing on us, right? So let them keep hollering and shit.
I think that the lineage and the reparationists, who has been at it for years, y'all have been at it for years. I'm a baby in all of this, but from what I'm understanding, I think the work that y'all have done locks everybody out anyway. Like the lineage pretty much locks everybody out in a matter of reparations, especially when we get them to stick to lineage only. All this other stuff they trying to do, declare yourself Afro descendant, all of that. We're not declaring ourselves that, but I think we got it pretty locked tight that they can't slither on as long as we keep it lineage based. Would you agree?
Correct. Stay focused
Thank
and
you.
stay on our shit, right?
Yeah.
So it all will pass, man. Because our ancestors know that for us to get our total repair, we got to get a lot of people out the paint, right? I'm talking about a lot of people. Anybody who's coming against it, anybody speaking against, all these people got to go. So it didn't take overnight to get there, and it won't take. Oh, it's not going to take overnight for us to get right, right? But if we stay consistent on our shit, and with the help of the ancestors and the Almighty, we gonna get what's ours. We gonna get our shit back. Trust that.
Yep, and real, I'm gonna hold you to your word about us pulling up in New York. So I've been like really trying
Hey,
to gather feet on the ground, and there's a lot of people getting excited about it. So
I just need to know the date. When BX
me
give the date,
too. We
once
got
BX give
AT
the
give the
date,
date. I'm gathering bodies. You make sure you. I'm talking about. I want our pull up game to be so strong that Ghana
big,
feel it.
like a lot of us, like no
Like
the fuck you
Ghana
ain't,
go feel
motherfucker.
it. They gonna know we don't rock with them. Like we're not Ghanaian. We not from your continent, sir.
That's
Like,
right, right.
yeah, I'm ready to. Hey, I ain't been more ready to get in the streets. None, but this, I'm geeked. I want
I,
to go.
I'm ready too. We're gonna round up the truth. And we're gonna show up with big numbers too. Like you got to whatever they come, we gotta be there and say, no the fuck you ain't. Take that shit back to Africa or wherever the
Exactly.
Caribbean, wherever you from. You
Playing
ain't
our
gonna be just
lineage song hard. That song we rocking. I'm talking about in the beat so strong. Do you hear me? They gonna get sick of that song.
which
Yeah.
one?
The one that you and Ish did the video on that
Oh,
we
your time
rocking.
to go home?
The
Oh, we gonna
time
be
to
playing.
go. Did you come to get your people? That's what we finna ask
Yeah.
them. Did you come to get your kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who you need to be getting, not our people. Get the fuck
Yeah.
away
Come
from
get
our
your
stuff.
motherfucking kids.
Yeah, I can't wait. That could be a major fucking statement. If we pull up, I
Yes.
hope it be thousands of us out there. Just showing we have to begin to show our numbers when we want to, because numbers matter. Crowds matter at certain times. And that would be one of the times that we need to show our strength and say, no, the fuck you ain't come over here claiming our
And
ancestors. Get
that'll
the
show
fuck
that
out of here.
administration what we
Wait a
think
minute, I
about
got it, y'all. I
Africa.
got it. And
Uh-oh.
it's in March. Y'all ready? Listen to this. So my search term was when does Ghana, when do Ghana, it should say, Ghana plan on visiting the African burial ground in New York City? The AI overview produced Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama has announced that he will lead a delegation to lay a wreath at the African Burial Ground National Monument in New York City on March 24th, 2026. Let me tell you something. They might just be wanting to go there to get some of that burial, you know.
That dirt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you to
So
take
that's
it back and
it's
try to
vis
do
is
stuff on it. Why he want to touch it? Yeah, he couldn't
Right.
touch shit.
So let me go on with the rest here. It says purpose of visit. This visit is part of a high-level side event leading to the presentation of a slavery reparations resolution at the United Nations General Assembly. Significance. The ceremony is intended to acknowledge the history of slavery as a first step toward justice, taking place just before the resolution is tabled. Previous ties. The African burial ground features mahogany coffins for the reinterred ancestors that were originally commissioned from Ghana. And Facebook is the source for that statement there. President Mahama also visited New York in September 2025 for the 80th UN General Assembly. I want to read that. What does this sound like to you? Previous ties. The African burial ground features mahogany coffins for the reinterred ancestors that were originally commissioned from Ghana. So the coffins were commissioned from Ghana? Because I know they didn't transport bodies from Ghana.
Right. And why would they? Why would they transport people from Ghana over here to bury?
Let me see here.
You said what day?
hey
18 March.
BX,
You
what
said
hey,
March
can you
24th.
it's
March
on the
24th,
Thursday.
yeah.
On a Thursday. That don't matter. We got it ain't about the day.
No, I was making
Big.
sure the 24th so I
Oh
could
yeah,
tell
you're
everybody.
right. No, I'm just saying it, and they held it on a Thursday. Is what I'm saying instead of Friday or weekend. So I get it. I get if they could do the week, they feel like people may not show up because it's a weekday work day. Fuck that. You know what I mean? So BS, can you give me the address of that place? I want to take a picture so I can see how we need to strategically be. I want to surround the burial grounds with
The
our
one,
bodies and don't even
the,
let them enter. You're right.
You said March
I'm going to be,
24th.
March 24th, 2026. It doesn't have a
That's a
time.
that's a
But you know who we may need to speak with? Lacey. Lacey from Pennsylvania. She's always talking about Ghana. And she said she's not Pan-African, but she was a former Pan-African. I don't think her and Dynasty get along too much. But she was talking about protesting or something too. So I just want to kind of,
Well, we ain't got much time, so let's get
yeah.
it together. You
yeah,
know what I
right. I
mean?
need to get a
All
ticket.
right, so let me read this to y'all about the burial ground. So they didn't get no bodies from Ghana, right? What happened that the ancestors are buried there is this. The Facebook page it says the History Girls post, and it says the History Girl is at African Burial Ground National Monument. That's the name. The African Burial Ground National Monument. So it says, beneath the skyscrapers of Lower Manhattan, a 200-year-old secret was waiting to be told. In 1991, construction crews digging the foundation for a new federal building at 290 Broadway, that's the address, hit something they didn't expect. History, specifically the African burial ground, the largest and earliest known colonial era cemetery for people of African descent in America. For over a century, the 6-acre site was forgotten under the weight of New York City's growth, but the ground remembered the heart wrenching scale. 15,000 burials, while 419 remains were carefully unearthed for study. It is estimated that over 15,000 people were laid to rest here during the 1700s. The fight to remember. It took a massive grassroots movement and an act of Congress to stop the construction and ensure this land was treated with the dignity it deserved. The return in 2003. The 419 ancestors were placed in hand-carved mahogany coffins from Ghana, there you go, and reinterred at the site. Today, 7 earthen mounds mark their final resting place. The address again is 290 Broadway. That's in Manhattan.
That ain't got shit to do with them. Nothing. They just put some shit together to try to include something about Africa for. Jeez.
Y'all got to remember this too. It's gonna be a lot of Pan Africans there. So we got to really, if we really fighting for our soil, this ain't no choice. You got to show up if you can by any means necessary. And then I don't want no 1 or 2 people out there. If it's only going to be that, then it's not going to have the power that it
Right.
needs. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fucking Pan Africans there. A lot of them.
Yeah, they're gonna be in support of the
Where
guy.
they set it up through the Pan African.
They said it right. There you go, real. They set it up through them.
God, yeah.
Right. So you
How
know
many
they gonna
people do
be
you
out
think
there.
you could get in the tri-state area, or whoever's willing, whoever got the money to jump on the bus, the Greyhound, the Amtrak? We got a few ways: drive up here, put gas in the car, or the airplane.
I
March
need to
24th,
put
are
this
you
on
available?
Portis Live. Portis can round up some motherfuckers. He ready to get some boots on the ground for some shit like this.
BX,
Okay.
you are in a lot of those young soldiers' rooms. You need to go in there and let them know the date, the time, and let them know that the Pan Africans are going to be out there supporting this shit. So
Okay.
we, as foundational Black Americans, we got to be the ice in this situation. We button up a fucking border. You ain't
March
gonna get to the
24th.
grave, and you cannot do this shit on our soil.
They
And
All
whatever
right.
we gonna go up against, we got to be ready to go up against it because it's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers talking shit. So that gives us a great opportunity to handle these Pan Africans and everything like that. So yeah,
I want to know what kind of study was done.
Atomic Wolf asks what date again, ain't he?
March 24th.
That's a Tuesday.
is it a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Wait
I
one
thought it was a
minute. Let me
Thursday.
double check.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
Yep. March 24th, 2026. Let me see what this says. Okay, let me see. Maybe they have a time. So they do have it and it's in what? It's called Graphic Online. Is it called Graphic Online? Yeah. Graphic.com. I think this is an African newspaper. Yeah. It's an African newspaper.
They excited. It's gonna be all kind of nappy heads there.
But
She
guess what?
said
They
no.
ain't expecting. They ain't
Us.
expecting us. What they ain't expecting. They ain't expecting
Us.
us.
This got anything to do with any kind of reparations that the United Nations got any what do Ghana have? Is they trying to get that money for that amusement park thing they trying to over there?
That pesky African Union came up. Listen to this part of the because the article is a bit different. It would take place a day before Ghana's tables the resolution at the General Assembly. On March 24th, Ghana will host a high.
The leader of Ghana, he was from Ghana. I just listened to that whack apology this morning. With him talking about he's sorry for the 400 years.
Understand? Your girl, your boy or your girl, you did some shit that was fucked up, and you got to do a makeup, right? Do you think that if you did some real shit that really pissed the motherfucker off, that you just gonna say, "I'm sorry"? No, you gonna have to work for that
What
motherfucking
I'm talking about
apology.
work hard.
You get some put us by the water,
But
give us
guess
all the
what?
shit we need.
They
You
ain't
gotta
got
you
it.
He said we're
that's what they
breaking up.
did
Are we
though.
still
They
They
want to
breaking
ain't
up?
got
charge
it.
they want to charge you to come to Ghana.
Cause
What
you
the
wanna know
fuck?
what? They ain't got. I just learned that Ghana, they foundation
They
is
can't
trash.
hear. Can y'all
Huh?
hear me?
Oh
They
no, go
can't hear.
ahead.
Can y'all scroll out and come back in? Because they can't hear.
Scroll out and come
Let me.
back. Okay, I'll scroll out and
Not
come
you,
back.
not you. They can't hear. I'm wondering.
Oh,
But let
Oh,
me
you
tell
talking
you
about the
something.
audience.
This paper says the Caribbean is involved.
oh my God.
Caribbean is involved because in Cobra and Pan Africans are behind this shit. They always roll that shit up into everything got to do with us. In
We gotta
Cobra,
go.
all that shit be rolled up. I'm telling you, the Pan Africans have set this shit up, bro.
Oh my God, this shit is real. They trying to attack us from every melanated side. The Pan Africans, the Caribbeans, the Jamaicans gonna be there too in a minute. God damn it, watch. They all
Don't
gonna
the
motherfucking be there, and they
Haitians.
all worried about our
D.
reparations, which is beyond me.
Let
Now
me see if
Ghana,
you come
but
up.
no, you want to know what pissed me off about the apology? He did not apologize to South America, Brazil, Haiti, Jamaica, Caribbean, Virgin Islands, nothing, right? The only motherfuckers he put in that apology was the us foundational black Americans. You want to know why?
Let
Because
me
we're the
ask you
only
this.
one with something that they want. They want our money to come over there and help build their country. Because I just found that their foundation over there is bad. The lady said, please, Black Americans, do not come spend your money in Ghana to buy no land, no property. Do not build no how she said we don't need building houses. We need industry. We need jobs. She's like, we need to be able to get the infrastructure to be able to hold the houses, right? She said, you will build a house over here. Next thing you know, is sinking from sewage and floods.
Check this out too. This is what I want you to also. Who has the largest pot of reparation money on the planet? What
We
is the
do.
lot? That's why they want it. It ain't got
Exactly.
nothing. It's the amount that they know it's
Right.
trillions. They want
Brilliant.
to tap into them trillions and by any means fucking necessary,
Yep.
right? So that's why they ain't going out to nobody else. Ain't nobody else got no money owed like us, right? So that's why everybody want to dip into our black pot. When we remove the black card, it removes all these motherfuckers from our shit. Period. And so that's what they're fighting for. They got to connect, and these Pan Africans are behind how to make this shit look
What
solidified.
what part of the country you in, Rio? You in the Midwest, the South?
No,
What?
I'm in Atlanta,
Cause
ATL, the
I was
dirty.
thinking about trying to see like, damn, could we rent a big ass bus? Like, what kind of way could we get people? Like, how can we make it not expensive because it's so fast? So how can we make the trip not so expensive for people where we could all meet? I don't know, like what would be smarter? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody, I don't know how people finances is or whatever.
Right, right.
I can get me a ticket, but I want us to show up in numbers. You feel me?
We
Like
have
the,
to.
like the Million Man March type shit.
Yeah, have to. It got to be over 1,000 of us
That's what
there.
I'm saying. Gotta be 1,000 of us at least. That's the
No, at
least.
least that's the least. Right. 1,000 plus is great, but no less than 1,000 people. Hell, it should be damn near 500 in fucking New York alone.
Right. Damn, I wish we would have knew this day. Oh my God, I hate being last
Well,
But
minute.
we should be prepared to go out there all day. I'm thinking they would go out there at noon. I'm gonna try to dig around and see what time.
And what's
What
that girl
time it is?
name you said, AT? You said you
Lacey. The only thing I remember is Lacey, but she's always joining the panels, talking about her time in Ghana and how Ghana does this and Ghana does that and Ghana does this, and she was out there, she married this, and
yeah.
she does a lot of things for Burkina Faso, I think.
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
it's why we can't share your stage.
Cause my page is private. I try to keep.
Uh,
I got an echo chamber for a reason. I get enough of the tethers on other people panel.
I feel you on that. I like echo chambers personally.
Yeah, we need this place to vent, you
But
know.
that's what today about, Auntie. We got to try to get boots, recruit boots on the ground. So you feel me? Like we got to go up in these, go up in our favorite people panels today, and just let everybody know. I'm thinking people would get excited about it. It's income tax season. That's what only fact said. Let me know the date. I just got my taxes back. I buy a ticket. So you feel me? Maybe this might be
Yeah.
a perfect time. Maybe people might be able to go.
Hey,
Hopefully,
you're right. And the thing is this: you got to also let's pull together a little flyer. I don't know who could create the flyer, but we need to do it and pass it around. And it said income tax, number one thing on your list: the protests in New York of Africans, right? The motherfuckers be like, yeah, I got my money. Yeah, it's a lot of people trained close. There's a lot of people in New York we need to pull, and those
yes.
far away can come if they can. But we got to take a radius, like
And
we're pulling up.
IGZ from New York, he
Look at the
young too.
comments.
IGZ, yeah, from New York. I can't see.
So it says, so country saying I can't go, but would pay to get people like Halo there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Matter of fact, pay for Halo ticket, my baby. Might as well go on and do that. We need her.
Okay, so listen, there's some rooms y'all just won't see BX in. I don't have no problem with nobody. I just protect my peace at all costs. So, Porty's, Keita got Porty's
I
room.
got porties and
Keisha,
billboards.
you gotta have foundational room. Me, I was trying to get D on the stage, but D ain't come up. So I could go to D's
Basic,
page, Black
basic,
American,
basic.
Dynasty.
Miss
Who? And then
T.
somebody else. Who?
I got Miss
Who?
T in basic. I can go in basic room. Miss T. Miss T
Yeah, I can
Monique.
tell Basic Simon and them folks.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said you be in basic room. Oh, what about D? Mootin D. D.
He was in the room and I was like, can you come up for a minute? But I think he just peeked in and peeked right back out. Or maybe he's at
Him.
work and can't answer right now. I don't
And
know.
it's another motherfucker that I love that be had of Black Vanguard. We're gonna go in Black Vanguards. Just everywhere we go. I'm just saying it. I don't give a damn who panel I end up on. God damn it, I'm saying
Okay, yeah, say it. Look, say it. Okay. Woo. Oh, you go to
Yeah, I
Billings?
be in billboards. Yeah, that's why I say I be in billboards. I be in hell. I even go in Daniels. Shit, god damn it, I don't give a damn.
No, please. Please. God damn it. I would have to worry about the Pan Africans and that, you know.
Oh, you funny as hell. I'll do that to get something up out of you.
So I did have some topics, but I don't want to keep y'all. Hey, yeah, I'm having a busy work today, but we can definitely talk about it in my life. Oh, thank you. And here come Dread. Are you just get?
Oh,
Oh,
there go
you go
D.
on Daniel and say it, Keisha. Okay, Dread, did you do your homework? Because I was just about to read about my Lions couple here. Also, Dread, we're talking. Ghana's coming to the African burial ground. March 24th, and we're trying to get 1,000 people to kind of counter them. I believe they're coming for grave yard dirt. You know how that goes. But they're coming because they have been in talks with the UN. They've been in New York since February.
Worrying about our
And
reparations
but wait, look who's helping them: the Caribbean
and the Pan Africans.
and the Pan Africans. So we want at least 1,000 FBA at the African burial ground on March 24th. Yeah. So whatever room you go in, that's a safe room, please, because I don't want 1,000 American Indians there ready to fight me because I won't remove the word blacks. And they be like, see what you did? You got it named African burial ground. And then I got to fight and stuff. I want real level-headed soldiers out there. We could
Yeah.
tussle later.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we got to follow. And these American, let me tell you something. I'm not talking about our American Indian of the lineage that get it. But I could be on a panel going at tethers. I'm thinking everything is cool. And they be like, you know, it really is FBA's fault because y'all be calling yourself black. And black, y'all be leading the Africans. And I'll be like, can you stay on code for a minute?
Mm.
1 minute? Those are the American Indians I be trying to get away from, y'all. Right. You see it. Y'all got to see it. A lot of y'all have got to see when I'm up there just talking, and then I'll be like, what are you talking about? The shit is funny now, but it's aggravating when you got to share a panel with them. Good morning, brother.
Good morning. Good morning. I got a late start. I am running late.
Good morning, Brother
Well,
Dre.
don't feel
Good
bad.
morning.
Simon was up since 6 this morning. I spoke to him
Right.
via inbox, and he ain't making it or peek in my room yet. I don't know what that man doing. He probably on some foreign panel arguing a point that could have been said in 1 second, and he made it a 10-minute monologue.
We
That's
love
all.
Brother Simon. I know. We love him.
That's
Did you do
hilarious.
your
Let me tell
homework?
you. Let me
Go
tell you.
ahead.
So first of all, who is going to the African burial ground?
I'm
Let's
going.
get it.
Oh, Ghana. The
Oh,
president of Ghana.
oh my God, that's Dr.
They're
Umar's
in Manhattan
homeboy.
already. They said from February. They said from February to March. Here, let me get it. It says President Muhammad said the wreath laying formed part of diplomatic engagements linked to the resolution. From February 20th, Ghana will hold meetings in New York with the Caribbean community, the non-aligned movement, the Group of 77, and China. Oh my God. The European Union and other regional groupings. Informal consultations on the draft text are scheduled between February 23rd and March 2026. On March 25th, 2026, observed internationally as the Day of Remembrance for victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trades, Ghana will table the resolution at the General Assembly with co-sponsors and backing from the African Union. Mr. Muhammad clarified the submission is intended for the Assembly rather than the Security Council, correcting earlier references made during summit proceedings. I should see what they're asking. What's a table resolution and all that good stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that is
that's the
crazy.
gist of it.
They here for
Listen.
over a month discussing in our country discussing our reparations and slavery and all this shit like this.
And you
Yes.
notice who they didn't say? They didn't say black Americans, did they?
Hell no, because they don't want us to know. That's why we know it's some bullshit going on.
Right. Imagine coming to New York to talk to the Caribbeans.
What the
You could have
Caribbeans
went to
got to do with
damn
being slaves in
Jamaica. You could have went to the
America?
CARICOM headquarters or something in order to talk to Caribbeans about the transatlantic slave trade. There's a reason they're coming here and talking to the Americanized Caribbean Pan Africanists,
I
because
don't
those
understand
people
why.
are infiltrators. They're agents of chaos to come in and try to undermine our reparations and delineations movements. That's crazy. And let me tell you something else. When it comes to the word uh, black, and racial, and the racial categorization, the problem is that these Pan Africanists think that black is related to being of African descent, which makes absolutely no sense. I'll tell you why. Because a race is essentially based off of phenotype. So there's not a specific phenotype that is directly related to the continent of Africa. So that makes it impossible for a black to be a racial group that is related to Africa, because our phenotype can be found so many different places outside of Africa. Even if you look at some of the Melanesians, some of them look just like, black Americans, black Caribbeans. They look like just regular black people. There are some that look more like the Australoid people, the Australian Aboriginals, that have like a different, more Indian, East Indian or South East Indian phenotype. However, a lot of them have a regular black American, black Caribbean phenotype with the coarse hair. They have eyes that resemble our eye shapes that resemble ours, nose shapes that resemble ours. So that means that technically, if you bring up a picture of one of those people and put it on the screen and ask one of those Pan Africanists, hey, is this a black person? They will say yes, that person is black, which means they're of African descent. And then come to find out, they have no African DNA. So we need to make sure that the redefinition of the word black is taking place. We don't need to take black off of the census. We need to remove African from the word black, because that black phenotype is not related to one specific continent, and that's the problem.
That's the
It's not the
problem.
word black, like some of the American. Is it that word black? That word black means you from Africa. No, that's not what it means. Because that definition was based off of phenotype, and it had nothing to do with that continent. It was just white people assuming that that continent was the only place where you would find those types of people, and and assuming that everybody that had those phenotypes were from that place. It was all an assumption, and it wasn't even an educated guess. It was just white people being white people and being uneducated. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. I'll go ahead and land there. I feel like I'm rambling, but yeah, I hope y'all feel where I'm coming from.
I just got pissed off all over again because I asked some more questions.
Lord, what you
And
asking?
Sister Keisha is in the room. She could correct me if I'm wrong. At one reparations hearings, when the Caribbean really showed up in force after the UN, well, CARICOM, after UN was told by the Brits they would not get cash direct payments, right? They started showing up in our hearings. One lady said this should be reparations for the world. A New York State reparations hearing. You had another lady, similar, like I would say similar to me, the demographics, that her husband or her children's father was Jamaican. However, she didn't think like me. She was like, we just don't do this in my house, and trying to say that we shouldn't have no problem with her Jamaican husband getting reparations from New York, right? So I'm going to focus on the woman who said this should be reparations for the world. This is what motherfuckers think. So now, because the UN is here and they want to host this thing with the UN here, I asked why was Black Americans excluded. They said no. Black Americans weren't necessarily excluded. What the AU or the president from Ghana was saying was people of African descent, it should come, especially the Black Americans. Let me make sure they use Black Americans. But okay, wait. Okay, here it goes. And it says, contrary to the premise that they were excluded, the resolution explicitly includes and advocates for people of African descent globally, namely Black Americans. That's when they want to say we're Black Americans, right? President Mahama has stated that the initiative is intended for all peoples of African descent and seeks a global framework for reparations that will benefit the diaspora. And you know who else pushes a global reparations thing? Tamika Mallory. The last time that I paid attention to her on the Breakfast Club,
You know
she
what
was
would be
talking about a Dr. Ben. Go ahead, Chris.
you know what would be funny is if, since the out of Africa theory was true, we should have everybody fucking there. Since he said African descents, right?
The Black Asians, the Black Latinos, the Afro
Everybody.
Nah, I
Caribbeans.
think
Hey,
you mean the white tea people too, because the out of
whitey
Africa
people
theory
too.
includes them.
Yeah, they be like, I got a drop of black in me, as
They
I'm
ain't even.
African.
But the thing is
I don't
this:
know
they
if
ain't
she's
even got to have a
Caribbean.
drop. Just from the theory alone says that they can show up. So
Oh, yeah, out of Africa. That's what they want everybody to do.
that shit would be so fucking funny, boy. Them motherfuckers would be, why are you white people here? Because we were, the theory. What theory? Out of Africa theory. Oh no, we did not mean you. Oh, you can't disown them now.
That's
Nope.
crazy. I can't believe these people been in our country for almost a month.
Hey, BX, can you
Yes.
also research if the Pan African movement sponsored this shit?
Okay, I'll look it up now. Is
Yeah.
that Yoda or is that, my niece Halo? Who's that up there?
It's both.
Is well. How
It's
are
both.
y'all? Are y'all getting along this morning?
Yeah,
I thought
she
Dale, I
mad
thought
because
that was his future. Why y'all ain't getting along, Dale? What happened?
No, they be playing around.
no,
They need a reality
she
TV.
she
They need a
she
reality TV show. That should be funny as hell.
Right.
I'll watch it.
she mad because this my last
I'm a
day.
producer,
No.
so I'll be on the
Talk
set.
talk. Yeah, tell TBS hey.
Hey, BX.
Hey,
Tell the
Halo.
family hey.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I say hey when I want to. Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Hey,
Yo,
Halo.
what's up? What's
Halo.
up?
Halo, somebody is willing to sponsor you to, if you can, come to New York March 24th to back your auntie and the rest of the FBAs up. We're trying to get 1,000 FBA to come to the Ghanaians at the African burial ground site.
Oh, okay. What burial ground site they have here?
None.
Well, here's the
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly, Halo.
Okay, so
Exactly.
listen, let me tell her. Remember, we were talking, and I said they found a grave site, and unfortunately, we had a Pan African community here. Well, that grave site that they found of the ancestors, they named it African Burial Ground. Ghana, when the ancestors were found, sent over about 400, I think they said, or maybe 200 mahogany coffins for the ancestors to be laid properly to rest. And that was only for a portion because they found about, I think they said 15,000 bodies,
Yeah, they said
but they were
15,000.
right, but they only were
So they
able to
found them
test
bodies.
like for 2 to 400, right? That's the number. So Ghana now in the AU decided to speak to the UN about reparations for a global framework, meaning everybody of the globe, of melanation should get reparations. And they're coming to lay a wreath at the ancestors' burial site here in New York. But I think, and you're into hoodoo, I think they want to get burial dirt. They could
You know
sign
what?
me.
Is it a group of people already willing to go out there and protest?
Okay, so you got me, you got Keita, Uncle Real here, Keisha is here. So what we're trying to do is short notice, but we're trying to get at least 1,000 because the Ghanaian president is already in New York talking to the Caribbean community, the Asian community, the group of 77 community. So the
Everybody
Pan
but
Africans
us.
are all in the mix, y'all.
Get the white tea people to march with you too, because they ain't trying to get their ass shit. So might as well let them go ahead and go on in there.
But no,
Tell
babe.
them they ain't getting
But
nothing.
babe. But babe. Cool. But babe,
Well,
they
you know
trying to.
what? I would do that as long as New York FBA is still safe to get reparations. I talked to my white cousin that day because I actually do have white cousins. They Dutch and shit.
No, but the African Union is trying to like say that those dead bodies are those
I
people.
know. That's what I'm saying.
So like so they could take claim to our shit. That's
Right.
what
And
that's why
call us African.
yeah, so that's why BS was like we need to go out there to New York because they're talking with everybody that is non-black about our ancestors. They're trying to claim those to be their ancestors.
They're
So
even talking to the
that's a
Asians.
that and you do you know how dangerous really that actually is because then that gives credence to oh well you guys are African descent or Afro descendant when those people were sold off into slavery like they cannot claim those people when they sold them off
And they went through an
so
ethnogenesis. What the fuck?
exactly, Miss Keita. So it's like, why are they trying to make? Why is the
Because of the
AU
money.
trying to push themselves onto us?
The money. They want the money. They want them trillions of dollars to build up Ghana. We just heard that their foundation is
What?
terrible
Hold
in their
on. Wait.
land.
What? All right. So BX, explain to me what date is this? What? Because this is like short notice. When was this thing? And where are they meeting at? And what gravesite are they trying to go to? Because they,
Okay, I'm glad you asked
to
because
me, you just, yeah. Go ahead.
Ghana has already been in New York since February, right? And so what they're trying to do, let me see if I got to scroll up. Okay. Okay. So Ghana, we heard through the grapevine that Ghana is supposed to come to New York to go to the UN to speak about reparations, and then afterward go to the African burial site and lay a wreath on the grave site. Come to find out, after doing a little digging here on this live, I'm finding out a lot of stuff along with you guys. When the grave site was found, right? Ghana sent about 2 to 400 mahogany coffins so the ancestors that they could disturb to test and all those other things can be interred properly in coffins. So Ghana did give us a present, coffins. And they're latching on to that history to do a global framework at the UN, a resolution, and they have the backing of the AU, and they're in talks with the Caribbean. Also, they're talking with the Caribbean. Hold on.
Who are they trying to get? Who are they trying to? I get all of this immigrant supporting immigrant shit. Who are they trying to say should sign the check? Because if it's the United States, is not going nowhere.
Okay, one
Trump removed us from that whole shit. We at least got this administration, and Trump probably about to get a third term. We know how this shit go.
moment.
So I'm trying to say, who are they trying to say has to sign the check?
I'm writing it in now.
If they're trying to get this check from the United States, that shit's not about to go down.
But we should still contest them in New York.
No, yeah, I want to spray them on the face with beer mace.
And somebody got to tell Marshall.
Simon, you need to make sure you there too, bro.
I'm all right. So where's this gravesite at? I'll let them do all 8 rounds, and then when they get to the
It's
gravesite,
in
it's like,
Manhattan, New York. It's on
Okay,
Twitch.
they do have the United States on here, but they have other. So it's like they're going after co-conspirators. So here it is. Ghana's position as championed by President John Dramani Mahama and the African Union is that monetary reparations should come from the former colonial and slave-owning powers that built vast wealth through the transatlantic slave trade. Targeted entities. The resolution specifically identifies those who profited from the trade as being responsible for compensation. European nations. Specific countries mentioned as having played major roles include the United Kingdom, Portugal, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Germany. The United States. Ghana has argued that much of the wealth in the U.S. was harvested from the sweat, tears, and blood of enslaved Africans. Commercial institutions. The push for reparations also targets private entities such as banks and insurance companies that historically financed and profited from the slave trade. Forms of reparations. While monetary compensation is a key pillar, goodness gracious, Ghana and the AU define reparatory justice as a broad structural endeavor that includes debt cancellation, forgiving the debts of African nations as a form of restitution for historical resource extraction, restitution of artifacts, the unconditional return of stolen cultural property and heritage currently held in Western museums. Global economic reform, restructuring international trade and finance systems to correct long-standing imbalance that favors the global north. President Mahama has emphasized that while the quantum of compensation is still being researched, the immediate goal of the UN resolution is to achieve global acknowledgement of these historical crimes to lay the foundation for future financial settlements. There's nothing, it's not even anything for the Caribbean, but let me tell you this.
FBX.
Huh?
Isn't it crazy that the people who sold you are the people trying to get money for
I
the
just
people
was
that
saying they getting double dipped. These motherfuckers said we mad because we didn't get as rich as y'all. Y'all didn't cut us enough of the pie for us selling you these niggas. So we need our cut back out of it to help build our country up. That's what we sent them over there for. Basically, that's what I get out of that. You feel me?
I gotta tell you, that I feel like this. I
it's a
feel
whole
like if they
scam.
keep,
Yeah.
it's a
Listen,
scam.
it's a scam. These people, majority of these Africans we know went to South America. Why isn't Ghana trying to go to South America and get their African cousins back into
What's their
Ghana.
problem?
They
Yeah,
they
we
Simon,
had
What's
the
want
their
big,
chief
we
they
got the
want
point?
big bag, Simon.
Simon. He sent out an apology,
yeah
Simon.
they
He
want
didn't
yeah.
acknowledge Jamaica, Brazil, Caribbean. None of the Caribbeans. Only people he put in that apology was Black Americans. So he not even looking at them other Caribbean countries like he give a damn about them being in
No,
slavery.
hold on, Keita. I got to give you a little resistance. I just listen to me. Listen to Auntie Good. All he wants us to accept is the apology. He's in talks with Asia. He's in talks with Caribbean. I just read it. He's in talks with the
Oh,
Caribbean. They are planning to get the pot and leave us with the apology.
oh hell no.
No, isn't that plausible? Think about it.
Yeah, he got us.
Think about the ways they've been locking us out of government, voting
Yeah,
no tire repairs, locking us out of home ownership.
yeah.
Everything they do is for an opportunity, and they all have a disdain for Black Americans. Why they only put Black Americans for an apology is because when the UN told the United States they needed to pay us reparations and give us an apology, all America gave us was an apology. Now we have a real chance for reparations, and they're trying to undermine us at every turn. They
Mhm.
understand that Black Americans are undergoing their own resistance to everything African. So, yeah, they're going to say it's for those of African descent, hoping we don't show up because a lot of us are saying we don't have that anyway. So, they're going to get, and remember I said this, any other time we're African American to them, but they just called us Black American and gave us an apology. That's because that's all they're willing to give us. We have the
Mhm.
highest collective net worth out of all the melanated folks.
Mhm.
So they're trying. Once I saw the Caribbean in there with the, let me tell you something about these damn Caribbeans, especially from New York. There was a time you couldn't even mention Africa to somebody who wasn't a Rasta. A lot of them did. This is why I'm so confused by them. Now, not all, but many of them. And in
So
20,
BX,
like
what's the date they trying to do this bullshit?
March 24th, I be on a roll and you be cutting me off and shit. But I want y'all to get this. I want y'all to get how sneaky they are. If y'all don't
Mhm.
see the play,
Yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
play is for us to accept the
I'm gonna be.
apology while they gonna run off with a bag,
We
like
can't
they've
let
been
them come
doing.
here. We gotta show up. If we don't show up, we ain't shit, bro. I promise you that. Like we ain't popping on shit. Like this is something we need to get in the streets for. Not the immigration, not none of this bullshit. Like this right here is something that we need to show up for. And that'll further let the administration know that we are America, for we know we are American. We ain't rocking with this shit. You feel me? It's time for us to stand 10 toes for America and get this African shit out of here forever. Let them this be the Africa last time coming over here to discuss anything. Y'all don't belong here. And come get your kids.
Exactly. Come get. But so that's get your kids. But that's what I think. They're in talks with everybody. And then when I ask, how come they didn't invite Black Americans and who do they think should pay for the monetary reparations? They said that we weren't excluded necessarily. They did mention people of African descent, especially Black Americans. They don't call us Black American. Well, I did tell the program don't call us African American. Okay, I did tell it that though because I'm tired of seeing African American. But for them, they really didn't make no big announcement. And if we didn't have somebody who was a former Pan African kind of reading stuff, or so they say they a former Pan African, I would have never known about that. I'm not tapped into the Pan African community.
Yeah, because
And
I
who
heard
told me
about
about
it and
it
I
though?
said something about it, but we couldn't figure out what date they was coming. Everybody thought it was
Yeah,
like May or motherfuckers weren't really sure what the date
I
was,
thought
but
it
that
was
shit
like
coming
more
up
like
very
May.
soon.
Yeah, but they've been here since February, Simon, and they've been
I got
talking to
I got a
the
question.
Asian. Go ahead. What's your question?
I heard you. Who owns the cemetery? Who owns the cemetery?
Oh,
Find out who owns find out who owns the cemetery. This a way to do this. Find out who owns the cemetery. If we're gonna like squad up, we squad up at the cemetery and don't let them cross that line. have our American flags, heritage flags, our
Yeah,
Juneteenth
that we
flags.
only going to the
Um,
cemetery.
and
Yeah,
like,
we
That's
don't
all.
go into the cemetery. That's all I care
yeah,
about.
I don't give a fuck what they talking about.
Me neither.
We hold a press we hold our own press conference in front of the cemetery
Yeah,
type shit. But let find out who owns the cemetery, get
It's
permission.
federal.
Well, we have to get permission so that when we start squabbling out that bitch, we could say we were in the right to be there. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Cause yeah, this I would love a headline saying Black Americans sprayed the president of Ghana in the face with some beer mace,
that'd
and
be
now
a
his
good
ass
So
is
wait,
gone.
headline.
wait, wait,
I don't give
y'all.
a fuck.
Wait, here's where my senses got to kick in, because now we're talking strategy. Maybe we need an emergency Zoom call for tomorrow morning.
Listen, no, I mean it is with all that shit. Listen, you got 12 people in the room.
Or
That other shit
Discord
don't
group
matter to
phone
me.
call. Huh?
I mean it is what it is. I'm just saying, find out who own.
Well, we in conversation.
It's federal. It's federally owned. It's owned by the National
It's owned by the national who?
Park Service. National
All
Park
right,
Service.
well
National Parks and Recreations, like a
all right,
federal
so we
building.
have to get those contacts. We need to find those contacts. We need the get the Freeman Nation. That's what I'm saying. We have to get permission to first be at this to get permission to gather to hold a
Is
press
it an
conference at
email
this
So
or
let me tell
something?
you
cemetery.
this. Let me say this. It's federally owned but managed by the National Park Service, NPS.
Do they have the email? Do they
BX,
have?
and somebody
And
text me the name of this damn cemetery where they trying to meet up.
I'm gonna
That's
write it
what I
right
that
here.
where is it? I
It's
can't see it. Is it in the
okay.
comments?
I'm gonna write it, Simon. I gotta write it. You know. Okay. And so it's called the African Burial Ground. Look at that. He got the legal mind, because we were just showing up there like rebels, like real rebels. African Burial Ground, National Monument.
Right, he's smart. So he don't go to jail.
No, because we're gonna crash out. I want to crash out
I know, but we
legally,
ready to
and
crash
so
out too. We gonna start
so that you got to
shit.
think about this the narrative of this shit. We crash out, we get locked up, whatever. Guess who wants to talk to us next? Now CNN and all these newscasts want to talk to us next, and when we get on this news, it's fuck Africa, fuck them slave sellers, and we run them down the same way we do on these panels, but we do it, very demure. We come
Mhm.
with facts. You feel me? We start naming all the African slave traders that came from Ghana, and they don't get to claim our American heritage. You feel me? We do this shit that way. Next thing you know, Democrats is pissed more. Republicans are like, oh, it's those foundationals again. Oh, matter of fact, we do need to talk more. It's a gingerbread. They think they setting us up. We setting them up. You know what I'm saying? For larger exposure.
Right. I was trying to think of like, damn, I wonder what's a way that we could do by different regions to get more people there in a nice, productive,
Before you, Keisha, I'm gonna let me read off.
cost efficient way. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
So I'm gonna say Sister Keisha's comments, because she keep commenting it, and I was back here doing something else. So Sister Keisha says it's open to the public, anyone can go. I still wrote the name of the African burial ground, the full name. It's federally owned but
I
managed by
can't see it.
NPS. So copy it to your
African
clipboard.
Bureau
Good
Ground
morning,
National
Lightning. Thank you,
Monument.
Sister Keisha.
So it's called the African Burial Ground
Yes.
National Monument.
Monument. And it's
mhm.
federally owned and managed by the National Park Service.
I'll be back. I'm gonna dig and see what type of contacts, whatever shit. What did it say? It's on the 22nd.
Yeah, and the
24.
address is 290 Broadway, Manhattan, New York.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
needed. The address. Yeah, like
Yeah. To keep posted, and please don't let me. When I log off here, I be seeing you on all types of crazy panels. Please, Simon, don't make me come in there and join the panel and say, Simon!
I
Theodore.
I'm just trying to lighten the spirit a little bit, because this could be frustrating. I know, I get it. But
it's
thank
not
you,
that
y'all.
it's just like some stuff I just be expecting, and like I don't be like meaning to be like a downer. It's like shit gotta be responded to. I don't respond with shit with I don't respond to grievances with more grievances. Is what's the solution, and how can the people be kind of protected as we gotta take this next step or whatever. Um, yeah, shit. Where's the nearest New York should have a bunch of these bear mace. I want bear mace. I want some wild bear mace. They need to understand that you choking trying to do this shit. Um, that's a whole nother thing. Uh,
Oh, I heard
I'm
what?
a I'm
Beer
a I'm
mason?
a I'm a I'm a
Yeah,
I'm a
bear man.
I'm a yeah beer spray.
You need to
Yeah,
have that one
Oh,
Sukiyama
beer
get
sprayed
spray.
on
some
Gresham. It
beer
turned the
spray.
orange and had them burning.
They whole shit gone and it's fuck them and fuck them. We're in a time in our country right now where it's fuck all these foreigners. Ain't nobody really gonna give a fuck. They're just gonna come talk to us like, oh, what was the problem? Um, all right, let
Oh,
me just
how's
do
it
some
Mike to
searching.
tap us in with some
Oh yeah, he
some
is in New York. He in here.
yeah.
Housing request. There you go.
So
What's
Simon,
happening?
are you going to do that now or did you do your homework? Can you wait or you just write on it right now?
Nah, I didn't do no homework. Just let me. I'm in the middle of something else, but let me
Okay.
find out about this burial ground and try to get some address and some context. See what I can bring back.
Okay, so are you definitely
I
going to
see.
try and come back during the time period I'm up?
Yeah.
Because
If
I say
not,
another
if
45
not, I'll
minutes
send
the
it to y'all
most,
DMs.
and then I got to go decompress because I feel a headache coming on.
A
Thank you,
A
y'all.
A B A B X.
Yes.
I got a friend of mine, Derek Gibson, who's going to be running for New York governor. He has a lot of connections in New York, right? So I reached out to him. He didn't hit me back, but he might can get us around getting the proper paperwork and shit we need to make this thing happen. So I'll reach
Oh,
out to him today and see how much help he can give us, because he connected to all
That'd be
the
great.
uh,
oh.
the heavy hitters up there in New York, and he's running on the Republican side. So
Oh, that's
so
dope.
Oh.
Yeah, see
so
that.
but
See,
Does
like,
he know a
yeah,
lawyer
that
that'll
type.
take
So,
on a
so cool water.
malpractice for a dentist?
yeah,
Hold on. So cool water. That's the type shit we need. Like on the low, that's kind of a shield for us. We need someone that's running for politics in New York. You know what I'm saying? To actually kind of run this type of response. You know what I'm saying? This panel, this conference where we each just get up there, say a little something, talk, and when they show up, we reject your offer, like type shit. Yeah, they got to go around the back, like force them to go through another entrance. Like you're not coming in this way, but yeah, shit like that. Let me just look around and find out cool water, whatever information you get, you feel me? Hit me in my DMs, and we'll see how this shit move. But I'll be back though.
All right.
Okay.
Black
I'll
power.
be back. I want to see what's the significance of reslaying in E5.
Like you said, to grab
Well,
some dirt.
what spiritual practice does Ghana have? Do they practice Ifa too, or that's just Nigeria? Do you know?
Who you asked that?
I'm asking the room.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't
Y'all
know.
might be well versed in some stuff that
know
I'm
either.
not.
I don't know.
I'm gonna put in ATR because I swear that Pan Africanism is a spell. I'm really of the belief that it's a spell. In African traditional religions, the act of laying a wreath at a burial site is a symbolic gesture that bridges the gap between the physical and the spiritual world, serving several specific functions. Y'all ready? I'm telling you. Recognition of ancestral status. Wreath laying acts as a formal acknowledgement that the deceased has successfully transitioned into the realm of the ancestors. In ATR's, ancestors are not DEAD in the Western sense, but are active guardians of the living. Providing a crown or floral offering is a way to honor their new status. They don't need to honor our ancestors. They sober, right? So, well, those who were of African origin, because we do know indigenous were with them too. So the circle of life, eternity. The circular shape of the wreath is universally understood in many African contexts to represent the unending cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It mirrors the belief that energy never dies and that the spirit continues to exist and influence the family's welfare. These motherfuckers. Pacification and appeal for protection. Traditional rights often involve, okay, I gotta calm down, pacifying the
Sorry,
spirit.
I got a call, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. So you didn't hear. I was wondering what was the
What did
significance.
Simon said? He said something I didn't hear. He said cool, and
Mhm.
then my call came in.
So he said, when you find out the information, please hit him in the back chat so you two could talk, because that's
Hmm.
what we need, somebody with connections so that we could get ahead of the curve, basically.
For sure. All right, no problem.
And so if y'all didn't know, when I started thinking what the wreath, why is it so important for them to lay a wreath? I just read about, I take a lot of spiritual classes, right? So I started thinking, what is the significance of wreath laying at a burial site? Why do they want to lay this wreath after they visit the UN, right? Because we know. So I Googled, what is the symbolism of wreath laying at funeral sites in ATR? So this is the significant. So basically, we saying we think they want to take the graveyard dirt, right? But the wreath is a symbol for something. What is it? And that was my mind. What are they asking of our ancestors that they have to go lay this wreath? And this is what they gave me, y'all. And so I'll go over it again so that way Unc is covered up with the rest of us. So in African traditional religions, the act of laying a wreath at a burial site is a symbolic gesture that bridges the gap between the physical and spiritual worlds, serving several specific functions. Recognition of ancestral status. Wreath laying acts as a formal acknowledgement that the deceased has successfully transitioned into the realm of the ancestors. In ATR's, ancestors are not DEAD in the Western sense, but are active guardians of the living. Providing a crown or floral offering is a way to honor their new status. The circle of life, eternity. The circular shape of the wreath is universally understood in many African contexts to represent the unending cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It mirrors the belief that energy never dies and the spirit continues to exist and influence the family's welfare. Pacification and appeal for protection. Traditional rites often involve pacifying the spirits of the DEAD. By laying a wreath or similar floral tribute, the living seek to keep the ancestor happy and content. These motherfuckers are going there to do some type of spell.
They're trying to break that African curse and hope that them doing that and bridging the gap and hopefully the ancestors forgive them, the ones that did make, but they in the wrong lands. They need to go to do that in South
I don't
America.
think it's that. I think they want to turn them against us. They want to turn things in their favor. They kind of want to
Disturb
subdue
Ireland.
us. They want to keep the ancestors happy. They some evil motherfuckers, right? So what they did was, after they captured them, they walked them around the forgetful tree so that they could forget not only in that lifetime, but the next, right? And then they, put them in the door, no return, passed them over to the Europeans. Forgot about them until now the talks of reparations. Sent coffins, of all things. They ain't send us food. They charged us to go back there. Now they're coming there to make the ancestors happy. What are they asking in return for trying to make the ancestors happy? What do their backwards, primitive, witchcraft working minds are they going to ask our ancestors for?
What our demise? Like what?
I'm thinking that they want to either subdue us or make the reparation hearings go in their favor.
I think it's all up to me. It sounds like it's about wealth. I think
Wealth, right?
that the
Trying to
power
figure
of our
out.
ancestors has blessed us with great wealth. And to them, they feel like, maybe they can tap into some of that, what I'm saying? Because we are the wealthiest, most successful, and most influential melanated group on earth. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, most of us cannot find an African in our genealogy. However, the transatlantic slave trade happened, and some of these people, they believe that every single enslaved person was African. So to them, they feel like those African ancestors have blessed us and given us, some sort of supernatural ability to be successful and to be wealthy, and they want to tap into that. That's what it sounds like to me. But BX, you make a great point about the tree of forgetfulness. There is some sort of they're trying to also break any curses that may be related to them by going there and trying to make an offering to those buried ancestors. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, get off the hook, so to speak. But
Right. And I didn't finish reading what else it represented. Mary, they coming the 24th of March. So I read pacification, right? And it says, by laying a wreath or similar floral tribute, the living seek to help to keep the ancestor happy and content. A well-honored ancestor is believed to provide blessings and protection to their descendants, whereas a neglected one may bring misfortune. Sacrificial offering. In some specific traditions, the wreath is viewed as a modern evolution of the floral sacrifice. Historically, fragrant plants were used not just for aesthetics, but as a sensory bridge to the spiritual world, meant to please the deceased during their journey to the ancestral home. Communal solidarity. African funerals are massive communal events. The laying of a wreath by a group like a political delegation or a family clan signifies communal identity and a shared commitment to upholding the legacy and living memory of those who came before. At the African burial ground, this ritual takes on an added layer of reparatory justice, symbolizing the restoration of dignity and renaming to those whose identities were stripped by the slave trade. They can't claim our ancestors. Uncle, are you listening? Is there any way that we could um get your friends connections to tell them they can't lay nothing there? They could just stand there with their head bowed or something if we allow them through the gate. Because at this point, I don't. They so slick. I gotta tell you, I
And
can
we
act
need to
like
let
I'm
them
laying
know
down the
that
reef.
we know the type of stuff that they do. We need to let them know that we know they do spells. We don't trust them. Like that need to be like seriously, like put them on the floor, like let him know so he can know that we see you and we see what you trying to do.
No, this is
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah. I'm
worried.
gonna talk to him.
But
Once I talk to him, BX,
yeah,
I may even three-way it with you on the phone or
thank
something, and
you.
we can make the connection and get this thing moving because we have to become the ice of our own community, right? We have to
Right.
block the wall. We have to begin to be the wall around everything that's us. If we don't get show up, then it just makes them think that hey, well, them Black Americans, there is some internet shit. And if we want to prove people wrong, we got to get off the fucking internet and go when we need, when it's necessary to be in the streets, we be in the streets. When it's not, we're not, right? But we got to know when we need to roll and when we need to hold. So this is a rolling situation here. Mount up, God damn it.
So here's what I'm thinking, Keita. Honestly, here's
Right.
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that as they go to lay the wreath, they're gonna have some type of animal sacrifice, right? And they're gonna pour it on the dirt. That's what I'm thinking. Now I am a writer, I gotta tell you, but they believe in sacrifice. And the moment I read sacrifice, I said, oh. So the wreath is to take place of the floral sacrifice, but we do know in some African traditions they do sacrifice animals as an offering to their deities. Well, maybe y'all don't know, but they do.
Like, what if they didn't already did whatever they need to do to the reef? So all they need to do is make the final connection by
Yeah,
laying it there. They probably didn't already did what they gonna need to be done to it. You feel me? It's probably already gonna be spelled on there. So once they lay it down there,
yeah,
boom, that's the final connect. You know what I'm saying? I believe in that shit too. I told you. My mama got
yeah.
me superstitious as hell.
Yeah, I agree, Keita, because I doubt, this is America. They ass is going to prison for harming an animal. They're not going to publicly and openly harm an animal, do an animal sacrifice right there in the open. Yeah,
Right, because they wouldn't want to show that side of them anyway. But they gonna already have all that pre-done. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, okay, now we got to do our last. That's the type of stuff that it do. You feel me? I'm into that. I watch all them kind of crazy little movies like Big said. Read, look, I'm superstitious as hell. So my mama raised me like that. So I believe it. I believe people can do things. You know what I'm saying? So yes.
yeah, I agree, Keita. I think they're gonna already have most of whatever spell or whatnot already done.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Then
So
all
like
they gotta
Big
do
said, we
is
think we got to do is keep them away from it. Like, no, you're not laying nothing. We don't condone that. That's not our belief. Like our people already, we want to do it in our way. Keep y'all. This is not they not African. They don't want your rituals over here. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to let them know. We don't want none of your practices on our soil. Period.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So Sister Keisha is reminding me and informing y'all that in New York you can't do animal sacrifices.
Oh my God. Look at our country is
if you're
stupid. Is
if
something
you're
wrong?
if you're if you're a New York citizen, right?
Oh my
But
Uh-huh.
that, if
Well, the
you're like
Latinos do
if
it.
you're like a foreign dignitary, just sorry, that's my dog. I'm
It's okay.
getting his
He
food
sounds
ready.
happy today.
Yeah, I'm getting his
He
food
sounds
ready.
like
He's
he's
yelling
giving
at
us
me.
a warning.
Yeah, he's ready to eat. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's placing his order. There you go, buddy. All right, so dig this. So here's the thing: does that law protect people who are just visiting New York? Does that mean that people could just, hey, I'm in New York for a week, 2 weeks, a month. I'm gonna be doing this spiritual belief, practice, or whatnot, and the law should protect me, or is that for American New York citizens? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just come and just do anything if you're not a citizen. You know what I'm saying?
Well, wherever you could practice, I don't know. I don't know that specifically, but it's not only New York, because you can practice in the ATR anywhere in the nation, if not mistaken.
Oh my God. I did
Yeah,
not know that. Look, that's this
because
is
I know in Georgia you can.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where how the Constitution does not protect illegal immigrants. It does not protect certain individuals that may be in the country. It protects American citizens, right? So that's what I'm saying. If it's constitutional for American citizens, doesn't mean it's constitutional for people who are visiting. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
but yeah, right. So they're not going to do it right there at the burial ground. But like, okay, so two things could be true, right? They could do it your way, or they could do it my way. They're African. They might do it both ways. You know what I'm saying? One lay the wreath and the other poured the blue. We just don't know. When it just was on my mind. Why do they want to lay this wreath? I just read about a wreath. What is the significance of laying a wreath on the ancestors? And that's it. They want to make them. What they're doing is giving them something for an exchange. They're
for
trying to do an
something.
exchange with the
Yes.
ancestors.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, oh my God. I just hope we can get these people rounded up. Oh Lord, I hope they take this message serious. Like this is something like this voting is passionate for me. Like I am stuck on this now. I am not gonna be satisfied until after
Thank you for
March
the light,
24th.
y'all. Mhm. I want to reset the energy of the room. I think that, you know, this was very, very good. We got to dig deeper into why they want to come, when the date is, knocked around a few ideas, and we understand primarily what should be done by us on our court. Because they've already been in motion. We just going there to combat that aspect of it. Like, you know what? Talk to the UN all you want. The moment you mention the United States, you know what I thought of? Keep fucking with Trump, and Ghana ain't gonna exist no more.
Hey, bring it up to Afro too, BX.
Yeah, I am. Of course, I am.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, BX, I just
yeah.
spoke with my boy. I told him we're
Okay.
gonna get on a call. So you got to let me know when you're available, and let's get on this call. And I told him I may bring Simon into it too, just so because I like to everybody hear it at one time, so we don't
Yeah.
have to be going with third party information. So I don't have Simon's information, but I do have yours. But if you have his, let me know, and we're connected. So when do you want to get on the
Oh,
phone with
this just
this?
made me so happy.
Okay, in like 30 minutes, give Simon time to make his calls. I'm gonna wind up
Ooh, that just
the
made me so
live,
happy, y'all. Oh, look.
and then we could get right on the phone. Cause now I gotta chase down Simon. He did. I gotta, and I don't have his home number. Like I don't like taking people who are family oriented. Like I don't want to, cause I'll call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to do that. You're a family guy. You put your kids to bed. You spend time with your wife. So I only contact him on this app by phone, like
Okay.
Twitter, Discord, like that. So I gotta find, chase him down, but I also want to give him time to find Arthur or whoever he has to speak to on his end.
Well, whoever y'all want to have on the phone, I like to have all the parties together so we
Yeah.
can coordinate it. If
Okay.
Arthur's a part, if Simon's a part, or whoever's a part, let's get them together. And like he lives in New York. He lives in Atlanta, but he lives in New York.
Okay. Well, I hope he got some connection. Um,
I know.
that we
That was
could get
just
them
lit.
to not touch the soil of the ancestors, to just look through a gate or something. And I'm being nice by saying look through a gate because they shouldn't take their funky asses over there
Right.
anyway.
I want us to be able to be around it. I want us to be able to be like the guards
Shit
of it,
just
the
kicked me out
guardians.
the space, boy. That's
Uh,
crazy work.
I know. That's what I said. I said you was in the middle of talking and just dropped
and
Yeah,
down.
then you just
and it
drop.
just kicked me out. But that's okay.
You know what?
They
We
don't
do
want
have a
us.
hallway, and I didn't get everybody up off my thing, so who knows what they
Right.
doing. And the live was glitching earlier. So I'm gonna speak to Simon. I'm gonna tell him to get if he's gonna ask Arthur, does Arthur want to patch into the call? I'm gonna tell you, do you want to make it 45 minutes instead? That way we make sure Arthur's there, Simon's ready, I'm
Well,
ready.
call me. Probably call me because I might miss the text. Just
Okay.
call me when you got all the ducks in line, and then we'll make it happen.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Yes, thank
Thanks,
you.
real. That was so real. You.
Yeah, Dred, how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel like everybody that is on the East Coast that can get to New York needs to mobilize. This is too important. And with people saying the FBA is just an online thing, you never see. This is time to prove them wrong. Some of us might not be able to make it, but for those who are within driving distance, at least 3 hours away, if you're 3 hours away, you need to be there, and we need to make sure our voices are heard and make sure that they know that we do not agree with the African Union trying to impact our reparations in any way, and they don't need access to any of our reparations. We defended them so long, so long, saying that no, the Africans were stolen from the continent, and come to find out, once the spell wore off, we did our research, and they have receipts. And not only that, the continental Africans brag about selling enslaved Africans. You know what I'm saying? It's just so once the spell wore off, what I'm saying, we also realized that most of the enslaved Africans went to South America. There's so many different things that disconnect us here from what they're trying to accomplish with Pan Africanism and with this African Union connection. We need to mobilize. It's time. It's time. It's enough for the debate lives and the talking. At this
And
point.
Go ahead,
I agree with the brother. Like we have to make sure that the distance too, because the further you out, you won't be able to do a round. You won't be able to do a round trip. Like people that anywhere, anything like Atlanta is 14 hours. So if I drive, I have to get a hotel, fly. it's a little different, but we got to make sure we keep it within probably a 5-hour radius of something like that. Calling all the FBAs from that because you or 4 to 3 to 4. Because I'm trying to say you think, but you're able to drive back to your home in a day, a turnaround, should I say, type of thing.
You
So it's very
you know,
important that we keep that.
Yeah, I ain't
does
gonna do
any
no
let me put this in the air, y'all. Does anybody own an Airbnb in New York? Do we have Airbnbs in New York? I think we have Airbnbs in New York. Does anybody own an Airbnb or have a connection to an Airbnb for people like Unc who may drive up or even fly in and want to have an Airbnb as opposed to, one of our motels type shit?
That would be something we have to ask around too, probably though.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the
that's a
thing
good
though, if I
question.
fly in, I'm gonna do a round trip. I'm not gonna. I'll fly in to do the thing during the day, and I'll fly out that night or whenever it's over. But
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about others who may not be able to do that. We
Right.
got to take into consideration that they are going to have to stay over if
Right.
they don't have that ability to do a round trip that same day or drive, depending on how many hours they got to drive.
Right.
So. But I think we have enough family within a 3 to 4 hour radius to make a whole lot of motherfucking noise.
Yeah.
So we just gotta get them. Just gotta figure out how to get to them.
Okay, so Ife says
Oh,
I
she said
do,
do.
but I have to check with the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check when you can and then get back to me, Ife.
Yeah, we got until March 23rd. So, we just trying to do everything we can between now and March 22nd, 23rd, because we need to be there by the 24th and ready.
We have to and we'll have the option available for them. A name or
So
something where they can go
yeah.
if they
So
have
be it. I see you on
Thank
a lot
you.
of people platforms. You just gonna have to go and do your little pitch on everybody. Let them know we're rounding up the troops.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
But
mean?
Uncle, why you say I be on about maybe four main pages, and I be on those pages, right? So if Mr. Ether goes live first, I'm primarily there with him. I'm gonna say for about 4 to 5 hours, and then I'll drop and go to D or Black American. What it is that some of those folks got more than one page, so it looks like I'm all over the place. But I'm really not all over the place, Unc.
Well, yeah, I see you in different rooms, but it's all. I'm just saying as you go in these different spaces.
Yeah,
If it we don't want to say it around the tethers and the Africans as much, right?
right,
Because we don't know who they know and that type of stuff, right? So
right.
so but we got to be strategic with it, but yet able to get the information out at the same time because we don't want nobody sending up no warning shots that we pulling up, like and all that kind of stuff. So,
Damn. Cause
Yeah.
it could be like I'll make an announcement. I'll be like, hit me in the back chat, and some will. But for
yeah,
all the people that say I have 6 people that be like, oh BX, I want to know. I say, okay, make sure y'all hit me in the back chat. Just give me a friendly reminder, right? Cause I'm just kind of old. I might come off of here and get into something else. Only 1 to 2 out of those 6 will hit me back. So,
Mhm.
hmm. Like my room is a safe space, but we still gotta worry about those in the hallway. I say dynasty room. Any room I go into is gonna have tethers. So I'm gonna just say we have an emergency and y'all have to get to New York within 2 weeks. Who can do it? And if they say they can do it, and I'll get in their inbox.
There we go.
I'll drop and get in their inbox.
That's
I'll
how
just
we can do
announce it
that.
like that,
Yeah, that's how we can do it. That's a good way
right?
to see who actually got the money and the time. Let's start there first. You feel me? But some people get interested when they know the mission. Like some people will be like, "Oh, I sacrifice this and this for that." You feel me? So I don't know. It's like you just got to see who would be interested.
And who can do the graphics? Where's Ish? Ish does graphics. She could do a graphic.
Like a poster.
Yeah, we need posters.
I wonder. I'm gonna ask Bill because he do digital art too. So I asked him if he could do a poster too.
Okay. Whoever comes up with, and I've been look at my prompts since I've
Yeah,
been
yeah. I was
using
just gonna say
Gemini,
your prompts been off the chain. How you been doing them and putting the
Gemini, and
okay,
AI overview.
Gemini been really cutting coming in. So you probably could we probably could get them to make us a flyer and we could post it on, and repost it and share it, in everybody's inbox.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
what I
idea.
want.
Make a poster and share it to everybody's DMs because
Mm-hmm.
there are
Oh,
people
he
that
says that she can just inbox the specific. Unc, you want to come up with the wording?
yeah, yeah,
Uh, yeah, I give it some thought on it.
Okay.
Yeah, but other people can throw in ideas too. But I'll come up with some shit too.
Yeah, we just know you an artist. You good with them words. You know what I'm saying? You write bars. You feel me?
I'll see what I can come up with. The ancestors will give me the right shit to say.
All
Trust me.
right, now get in your
Dred,
zone.
Yeah.
Dred, do you want to sit in on a call with the lawyer? I mean, with
I don't
Unc's
have
friend.
I don't have to be involved in that call. That that's outside my purview and outside
Okay.
of what I'll be able to participate in anyways.
Right.
All the way in Texas, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
you have my own thing going on. But what I was gonna say is that there are some people that are outside of the tri-state area that has a substantial amount of foundational Black American family members as well. So if you are mutuals with someone that said, hey, oh yeah, I have a family up in New York as well. Oh, I have family in Connecticut,
Right. I'm gonna get
family in
with
New
Toy Toy
Jersey.
because she in
There,
Philly and shit. You
yeah,
feel me?
exactly. There are people, and even our American Indian family, like you said, like Toy Toy is American Indian,
Yeah.
but she has family in the tri-state area that is not with this whole, we're coming to get some reparations off the back of your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like if we have mutuals that are in the area that are American Indian or foundational Black American that can mobilize and say, hey, we are not down with what's going on. We need to make sure that we contact those mutuals that have family in the tri-state area as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in Candace inbox because she right there in Connecticut. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna read about Albro and Mary J. Lyons, and then I'm gonna let everybody get their last word in for the live. And I'll be back up tomorrow. I'll repeat my prompt, and we can sort of touch base and let everybody know what's going on from there. Or if you see me on the platform, ask me, BX, did you hear anything yet? How'd it go? Get my inbox. Y'all follow me. Y'all are my friends, or y'all wouldn't be in this live, right? So y'all can literally get my inbox by about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time just to get a post for what's going on, because this not only affects us here in New York, it affects y'all too. Because let me tell you, one of our favorite Creoles, Miss Jerika, right, was doing some of her genealogy, and she found the connection to New York.
JoJo.
Jerika, yeah, Jerika, and she's all the way in New Orleans. Jerika posted a freestyle that she did years ago, and I said, you know what? I see why. I see that New York connection is real. She sounded like a New York female rapper. Some women don't like the word female, y'all. Tough luck. Now let me stop. But yeah, she sounded like one. She really spit those lyrics. I said, I don't hear no accent. I don't hear no New Orleans accent. She's spitting like a real New Yorker. I said, yeah, I see that New York connection in you, Jerika. I don't think she responded. But she literally found a connection to the ancestors in New York. So this not only impacts those here, literally in New York, but people in the South do have connections to New York in places we didn't even think that would be part of our migration path, because we only talk about the Carolinas and sometimes Alabama,
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So let me read about our freedom fighters here. And look at the names, y'all. It's Lyons, the surname. Who used to watch Empire? I never watched an episode, but I remember the name Cookie Lyons. So I was wondering if Lee Daniels was making a play off of these great ancestors or divine honors to their ancestors. So it states, okay, so let me tell you the premise for all my prompts since about the second week of Black History Month, because people have been doing prompts, namely Black American and misbehavior. Tetherville, because New Yorkers have been getting on their nerves. My whole goal is to destroy the narrative of Tetherville. What I mean by that is we should never have a government official stating this is the land of the immigrants, especially New York, saying immigrants built New York, when I can prove through my, my lives that no matter what period of time America was in, there was always a Black American presence here that built the infrastructure, the music genres. We had syncopated piano here, y'all, vaudeville, okay? I got to tell you, we had church life, all that good stuff. Maybe not as vast and expansive as the South, but we had the same things going on up here in the North. And there's a connection between certain states, Philly, Virginia, stuff like that. People from the South would come here and become very instrumental in the Underground Railroad. So no matter what period of time this nation was going through, there's always been a Black American presence here, and we were dominant in setting civil rights culture, music culture, church culture, family life, abolition work, so on and so politics, classical opera, so on and so forth. So I'm destroying the narrative of Tetherville as it applies to New York. And even though I wanted it to be indigenous Black Americans of New York, the South always makes an appearance, y'all. And so anyway, this is Albro and Mary J. Lyons. And Albro and Mary Joseph Lyons were prominent 19th century New York abolitionists they're using the term African, of African, Indian, and English descent who operated a colored sailor's home near the East River as an underground railroad station. I never knew until recently that we had such a sailor population here in New York, in the early New York, y'all. So he's not the first sailor that I came across. If y'all remember Paschal Beverly Randolph, he was a mulatto, as they called him, hoodooist, who had like a schmeck's alchemy type of thing going on, was also very instrumental in the Underground Railroad. He became a sailor at 16 years old, so we did have a culture of sailing here, like being sailors. So they said they protected hundreds of fugitives before being forced to flee to Rhode Island during the 1863 draft rights, the pesky Irish. Early history of abolition and New York connection. The Colored Sailors Home, located in Manhattan, this boarding house and outfitting store served as a safe haven for escaping individuals and was a key node in the Underground Railroad between 1835 and 1860. Active abolitionists. The Lyons were active members of the Free African Church of St. Philip and Five Points and part of the Free Community. Seneca Village. They own property in the historic 19th century majority Black community of Seneca Village, located in what is now Central Park. 1863 draft rights. Due to their vocal support for the Union and abolition, their home was targeted by mobs, forcing the family to flee to Rhode Island, where they continued to fight for equality. Then it goes on to show their children and parentage, right? So their parents, Albro Lyons Sr., born 1814 through 1896, a graduate of the first African free school in Manhattan, and Mary Joseph Marshall Lyons, born 1815 and transitioned 1894, niece of actor James Hewlett. Children, they had at least 5 children, including matriarcha, Maricha Riemann Lyons, a noted educator and memorist. Let me not say her name like that. Her name was Maricha Riemann Lyons, a noted educator and memorist. These, Reese, Pauline, and Albert. Why do I sound illiterate today? I'm sorry, y'all.
You just getting a little tongue twisted. They got a little long little words with the stuff.
This leave my list below. You know what it is? I'm trying to read real fast so I can log off, but I need to do this justice. So let me calm down. I'm just hyper, trying to get to know what's going to be the next step. It's really frustrating to be here. It's like a quadruple erasure. At the time when you're really into, oh, we all marginalized, oh, we could all beat white tea supremacy if we join together, you sort of overlook why this thing is called African, right? And so now that I'm digging through the resources, seeing a lot of things named African, and then seeing Ghana wanting to come here, like, it's very diabolical. It's frustrating. Part of me want to just fight, like, literally. But at my age, that's unrealistic. I don't want to sit behind nobody's bars, because the only thing they're going to do is put me in jail for knocking them upside the head, and then that's going to give them a reason to stay in this country. But I do want cultural boundaries set up, put in place, and I don't want them touching our ancestors' final resting place. Leave them alone. They toiled enough, and the Africans, continentals, have fucked with them enough, okay? So leave them alone now. That's where I'm at with them. So let me read their children names again. They had at least 5 children, including Maricha Riemann Lyons, a noted educator and memorialist, Therese, Pauline, and Albro. Terms used during their lives. Based on 19th century records, they were often referred to as colored or free people of color. Albro was known as a mariner and seaman. And then it goes on for their spiritual life. And it says, while they were deeply involved in the Christian community, specifically the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church tradition, within their social circles, no direct primary resource or historical accounts have documented specific hoodoo or conjure practices for Albro and Mary Joseph Lyons. They were known for their concrete abolitionist activism rather than spiritual folk practices. So what I'm realizing is that the one thing we probably did gatekeep is hoodoo, because many of us practice it without knowing it. And some of us call it superstition. Wait till you Google who built the White House. It was us. We built the White House, right, Nola? We built it twice.
Twice. Yeah, the original one. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do voodoo? You do wait, Louisiana voodoo? What is it called? Cause y'all have your, so Dominicans have voodoo. It says enslaved Africans. You do voodoo of enslaved Africans.
Well, I
So
could say I thought
Dominicans do have
yeah,
their
my
own
mama always
voodoo.
called it hoodoo.
Hoodoo.
That's what
Well,
my
hoodoo and voodoo shouldn't be confused.
mm-mm.
Voodoo, it has origins in West Africa. I argue hoodoo does not have origins in
No.
West Africa, right?
Don't give me
Because
the
the
line, I don't know.
ancestors. Oh, but I mistook it for. I said, what kind of voodoo do you do? Because there's Dominican voodoo, there's the Haitian voodoo. What would Louisiana Creole voodoo be called? Is
Oh,
it
she said
Louisiana
enslaved
Creole?
Africans built the White House.
No, but look up. She says, I do voodoo.
I know, I see that one too. And then she
Right.
says, um, oh, what she
It says enslaved Africans. Yeah, we got to change that. We got to get that changed. They had an ethnogenesis.
She said it's say
Okay.
enslaved African. Yeah, it do everything. That's like the definition of black need to be changed. It's a lot of things need to be changed. Like the wording, since whenever they didn't revision this dictionary, they didn't rewritten it. Yeah, everything got African in it. When you Google everything, even when you put Black American, somehow African still come up. Like you really got to tell these people stop using African, because if you don't, they somehow, some way put it in there. It's like it's annoying.
Oh, Nola, no, no, Nola, no, 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 Nola, not the hoodoo. I'm going to tell you, if you go talk to a 6th generation hoodooist, they're not going to connect. No, it's not. No, it's not. Now, if you're talking about New Orleans, if you're talking about Gullah Geechee, places that may have retained some African culture, I think there's demographic hoodoo, y'all. I really think there's demographic hoodoo because some of us were not around West Africans. We were not allowed, and I don't deny the slave trade happened. I don't deny a lot of things, but I'm not gonna let them have hoodoo. Not everything came from Africa. We gotta cut it out. So Geechee, Louisiana. No, listen, let me get it out. Don't comment until I get it out, please, please, because I got a good point. Louisiana, New Orleans. Look at her. You're not letting me finish. New Orleans, the Gullah Geechee, y'all will have your own form of hoodoo, right? Just like there's southern dialect of Tut, there's other dialects of Tut. That's why people kind of laugh at Tariq because he speaks a different dialect than southern Tut. Yeah, no, don't tell me you love me now. Now that work any other time, but not right now. Not right now, damn it. What I'm trying to tell you, Nola, is you were able to retain certain customs, right? African customs. The Gullah Geechee were able to maintain certain African customs, but other regions were not able to retain certain African customs.
Yeah, because
We were around indigenous, and I'm not denying that I do have Afro Dutch in my ancestry, but I'm not giving them hoodoo.
my
It's
daddy,
primarily Christianity, indigenous based. It's an indigenous based spirituality system birthed here. Like we were birthed here. We're not African, even if we have African ancestors. We're just not African. We're a new ethnic group. Like hoodoo is a new spirituality form. And I think that with the Puerto Ricans who come up here and be like, but y'all African, but y'all are African. Um, that's because on the island of Puerto Rico, they were able to maintain some African customs. But because they were able to maintain it, they want to label us as just being African, as if we should know some shit when we were isolated differently. Okay, so you say they were passed down. I'm going to give this to you. If we were found to have practiced certain African customs, we could have been unalived, tongues cut out. We were brutally penalized. So the white people did see the power of the African, like the drums, right? So they took the first set of drums from the ancestors. So the ancestors had to do something else. What I'm telling you is that it's not of African origin. You have to understand, indigenous is in there too. Why are we giving it to West Africa if we had to hide certain shit? They passed down everything but my ancestors' name. Tell me my ancestors' name since everything was passed down. Because I ain't found one yet.
and I'm gonna have to ask my daddy and my uncles because down there
Nola just pissed me off. You know I love you.
they
Yeah,
speak
I
that.
know all that, Nola. I'm ignoring. I'm about to mute Nola.
Look,
Dread, get your wife. Dread, get her. Dread. Can you tell me something? Does everything have to go to West Africa? Hoodoo is the one thing I don't want to get. Hoodoo and Tut, they can't have. And so if it comes from there, why can't they practice it with us? They can learn, they can practice hoodoo. It's those of the lineage. Why can't the Africans, why can't the Jamaicans, why can't the Haitians or the Latinos practice hoodoo if it's from West Africa?
she said, "No, don't get dread for me."
Drag, go ahead. I gotta move my face from the phone because no one just, you know, drag.
All my daddy's side down in New Orleans and Alexandria, they speak that funny Creole patois. So but they never say nothing. They don't know nothing about no Africa, no islands or nothing. They just Louisiana Creole patois speaking Americans. You know what I'm saying? Black, like, no, we don't. They don't, like, none of them ever talk about Africa, nothing. Haitian, Caribbean, nothing. They don't know nothing about them people. You know what I'm saying? They just know Louisiana, and they've been down there for hella years. Like I said, my grandma is from Beaumont, Texas. So we don't know nothing about no Caribbeans. or nothing like that. I don't even speak it. You feel me? I don't know. I don't even speak the shit. So it's get me and my kids. Only them down there speak it.
Now, so 24 kg. When I did the search term, I asked, when is Ghana coming to New York to visit the African burial grounds? And the more you ask questions based off of what is produced, it eventually led to the AU backing them and going to the United Nations. No, no. I just want you to kind of. I understand because I've been where you are, where you don't want any parts of you or your ancestry erased. I've been there. That's why pistol pin. And I went at her about. Well, she came at me, and I defended myself. Hold on. If you're talking about Monique Joyner or Monique Sidlak Joyner, she's one person who wrote many books and attributed hoodoo to West Africa, right? Because I read all them books, but I have a different knowledge now, right? So I don't deny the slave trade happened, NOLA. I understand that some parts of this nation was able to maintain some African customs. I understand that I even have Afro-Dutch ancestors. However, because they were isolated, not really around Africans, and could have been penalized in other places than New Orleans, than South Carolina, they would have been penalized. Their tongues would have been cut out. They were never identified as African. But they do admit that hoodoo has indigenous aspects to it. Go look up indigenous flora used in hoodoo. We also know that we use the Psalms and some Christian aspects of in hoodoo. So I'm not giving it to no African about hoodoo. We use hoodoo. No, leave me alone. Don't put me TV. We use hoodoo to outsmart, to poison the enslavers. So no, it's not. It's not of West African origin. Now, you saying it came from enslaved Africans? Does it? Let me ask this question, because you gonna admit today it's amalgamated like I am. Okay. Does hoodoo have any indigenous aspects to it, Nola? You know what I noticed about Nola, Amara, and some of the younger men running around here, FBA men? They call me auntie and they know it melts my heart and I just fall in line with them. But hoodoo, I ain't falling in line with you giving it to West Africa, Missy. Y'all do that on purpose. Auntie, oh, there goes my auntie. And the other time I'm BX. But when they want me in line with them now, they calling me auntie. Do you admit that hoodoo had some, and you know me and the indigenous go at it. But I ain't gonna let nobody touch hoodoo or tut. That ain't supposed to. Do you admit that hoodoo has some indigenous origins, Nola? Do 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 do. Oh God, you wrote it was West African way faster than you trying to write that it has some indigenous aspects. Huh? Dread. Now I gotta tell Dread on you. And then she sends through a blank comment. Dread. Dread. Do you see what Nola's doing? She's giving her auntie a heart attack. And she
You know,
even
I,
said, no, it doesn't have indigenous origins.
you know,
I'm
I
going
can't
on
go
mute.
against Nola. You know, I can't. I can't go against my Nola.
Dread about to be blocked. I ain't even going to mute him. He's just going to get blocked. Dread, does hoodoo have
He said he got a black
indigenous
love, black
origins?
love.
All
You
this
know,
black
Nola
love.
got
This
my
what
heart.
y'all
You
doing
know
to
what
me on Black Love Day?
I'm saying? But look, what I can say is this. is that hoodoo.
Stop calling him Nola. Don't be threatening him, Nola. I know you just called him Nola.
My bad. I had
Nola
a
just
little pop.
called you?
No, I had a little pop up on my phone that said
Yeah,
low
yeah, it
battery.
was Nola. That's what was
No,
taking her so long
no.
to answer
This
me.
this is what I can say is like even if you do research into the founder of the Kojic denomination, it'll show that he was a hoodooist. You can't separate the Bible verses and the Christian aspects from hoodoo. It is a large base of what hoodoo is about, and that's not West African. So I mean, if we're gonna keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Like BX is right. It's hoodoo in the way it's practiced is not from West Africa. Now I can't speak for voodoo and Vodun. I can't speak for that. But being, somebody who had very quote superstitious grandparents that, practiced certain aspects of hoodoo that were also Christian. I can honestly say that you can't separate hoodoo practices from the Christian practices and verses, because there are some hoodoo practices that you actually have to recite a Bible verses and things like that. That's not a part of West Africa. You know what I'm saying? The first Bible is East African. You know what I'm saying? It's an East African. The first Bible is actually from East Africa. So I mean, if we gonna keep it real, we can't give West Africa everything. You know what I'm saying? We can't do it. But I love Nola. That's my boo.
So Nola, if you're reading resources and not speaking to the practitioners, because sometimes practitioners know more than them books. So let me tell you something. I had to cough. And when I was in, and that's why I went on mute. When I was, so I grew up in a household where my parents said heaven and hell was here on earth. They really didn't have any strong type of religious structure. They put their children in Catholic school, me and my sister, my older sister, because it was way better than the public school system. You could fail English and math in public school and still get past to the next grade. My parents weren't on that type of timing. I had a grandmother, though, my biological mother, who would take me to church, and I was allowed to go to church with my friend's family. So I have I don't really discriminate against any type of religion unless it's Luciferian, right? So when I was into Pan-Africanism, and I was like, dang, I go to Christian church, I was baptized apostolic and stuff like that, out of nostalgia for my mother, because when she was active in my life, we went to an apostolic church. So, as time goes by, I'm in Pan-African. I'm like, well, Christianity, that's the white teen man's religion. I want to know what the ancestors were doing. So I started researching. They said it was animism was their first religion. So when social media came around, I started connecting to some on the continent and some were into Ifa. So I always know Ifa, Santeria, Lukimi, Regla de Ocha, Voodoo Voodoo was of West African. Nobody ever said hoodoo when I was researching what the ancestors from the continent, what was their spiritual practice, right? So I'm actually I used to I'm like initiated into an ATR. So I get it. But we gotta be honest to ourselves and our ancestors. Just like Ifa is a closed practice and only some people can practice it, right? It's the same for hoodoo. If a spiritual practice is closed and you're not allowed to participate in it because you're not of the lineage, how could that be an origin of the continent? And the continent can't practice hoodoo. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Nobody ever mentioned hoodoo was of West African descent until recently when they're trying to change everything about us. I love the ancestors. You see, I fight for the ancestors to be recognized. I even went up on Leo's panel and told Miss Cece, listen, we cannot act like 100,000 captives were not brought to the United States of America. Like, I literally went up there. Like, I'm public enemy number one in some spaces, right? Because I do acknowledge those brought from the continent. However, I understand the ATRs are of West African descent, but Hoodoo was birthed here, just like we were birthed here, our ethnic group. So Hoodoo is a fairly new spiritual practice birthed with our ancestors' ethnic group. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you were able to maintain some of those African cultures, customs, and your former hoodoo in New Orleans, I ain't gonna knock you. But don't tell me my northern ass up here who don't have access to certain. How did they know what roots, what herbs was? Now I sound American Indian for real. Because how do they know what roots, what herbs would cure or harm certain things, Nola? This is the one thing they can't have besides tut. They can't have tut either. Some things they just not allowed to practice, guys. They just not. And I ain't gonna let them. I ain't gonna let them take that either. I think that the name of it confuses people. Thank you, love on Nika. So sometimes, that's a harm of Pan-Africanism. I'm not trying to erase your ancestors that were African, and same thing with the North, but we do know that certain regions you'd be unalived if you practice any type of African customs or culture. So I doubt hoodoo comes from the continent. It has more indigenous aspects than it does West African. So to say it's just West African is like telling us we're African, Nola. Just think of hoodoo as me. If I said I was African, you'd be like, BX, shut up. No, you're not. Give me your ancestor's name. What boat did they come in on? Like, y'all would say a whole bunch of shit to me if I said that. So, that's where I'm at with it. I'm not mad or whatever, but I think this is the sternest I got with Nola. She's one of my fave. She trying her best to be quiet. She said, let me just tap this damn screen while she up there rambling like that. But yeah, and I think we do ourselves a disjustice and our ancestors a disjustice because we do have, we are amalgamated. And so while I don't claim to be indigenous, I do know who my indigenous ancestors are, and I know their history. I'm just not active like going to the powwows and claiming the tribes and stuff. I'm Black American, and so is my spiritual practice, hoodoo. Thank you, thank you. And I see you wrote opinion there. Some of mine is rooted in fact, because don't make me call the hoodoo man in here. Okay? He'll tell you. Like, yeah, so there's a few people that I respect enough, because I don't really tell people my spiritual practices or even let anybody speak spirituality to me. Because, honey, I seen some of y'all lives that's up here preaching spirituality. Mm-mm. You know, I don't trust your spiritual system. Now, let me stop. But there's some people that I just trust, and they are not giving hoodoo to West Africa. They're saying it's an indigenous science. And that's one of the things that I'll stand 10 toes down on. Hoodoo is an indigenous science. It was birthed here just like our ethnic group. That's all, no. Thank you, Big Stepper. I am going to repeat this prompt tomorrow. I got to get off of here, right? I got to go find Simon. Nola, it's Nola's fault. But we got some real life issues. Dred, do you mind talking to Nola for me about the March 24th and the African thing where I go find Simon and get on my grind with that?
All right, yep. I'll tap in.
I'm gonna try to look it up and try to send a link. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking. The plumber's
it's okay.
here.
He want to be heard. I believe in spirit animals and stuff. So he may have a message for us. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah.
And Mr. Easter Live. Okay, I'm about to log off. Bye, doggy. Love you. Go ahead, Dre. What you wanted to say?
Yeah. I'm gonna let Nola in on the facts about what's going on.
Right. Yeah. She ain't gonna say hoodoo's West African. Then I bet you, Nola. I bet you. Go ahead, Dre. You tell her.
Exactly.
I
Funny.
love y'all. I'm going there now because I need him.
Love you
Thank
too.
you
All
so much,
right, bet.
Peter.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you. I'll see you
Dre.
tomorrow.
Peace,
Well,
y'all. Peace.
contact me later on today so I can keep you informed of everything that
Okay,
the
yeah, I
process that
will.
we're up to.
All right, bet.
Okay. Peace, love, light, and reparations to my foundational Black Americans, anybody who can identify as such, except for Nola, who want to give away hoodoo to the West Africans. Nah, I'm joking. She included, but you know, we're gonna make her wait. She's gonna be in the last of the batch and
Right.
shit. Peace, love, light, and reparations to my foundational Black Americans or anybody of the lineage who could identify as such. I love y'all for real. Be one, family.
Be
We
one.
won. Peace. Black first.
Yes, Black first. Peace.
Black face.
BX the storyteller, bringing the spark. No one does it better. BX, you've heard the rest, but she's the best. Yeah, she's the best. Oh, from ancient tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.